Guys, welcome. Rock out. Whatever we want to call it at the beginning here. And then listen, Jim, you got to hear at the end of this. Explosion. All right, everybody's starting to pile in here. Welcome to the Thursday night DM and Friends live stream. I am DM Angelo, and tonight we have a special guest, and I have been informed how to pronounce his last name because I was doing it wrong. Thanks to Chris Clark, who brought it up that I was that I was pronouncing it wrong. I think I was calling you Jim Wampler, but it's
Wampler, and I've been
Wampler.
I've been called worse, and I answered all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. Thank you so much, dude, for coming on here. You know, I really appreciate you taking time to come out here and get on and chat with everybody from the DM and Friends. And I'm trying to remember like where I first met you, and I know it was Gary Con, and you were doing some. I don't know if it was MCC or DCC games back in the day. There, you might
could have been
either.
I don't
remember exactly, but it was at the old before they. Oh man!
Oh no!
Just had a little blip there.
At the lodge, the old place where things were cool.
Yeah. I think it was at the lodge. And let me shut down a couple things here. There we go. Okay. I think it was at the lodge. And then I know you guys, because I know you and Tim would always make the trek over to North Texas. And I know we chatted quite a bit, and it was before the show we talked about it. It was when you reason why is because you were smoking. And,
outside. I don't anymore, but yeah, that's where you can normally find me. Everybody would go, "Where can I meet you?" I'm like, "I'll be outside smoking with the smokers." But
yeah, so
I finally reached the point where I had to give all it up.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, so I remember the last time, and I think that last time we chatted with it had to have been when you were there with Tim too, and I know he stopped going to North Texas a couple of years back. So, and it had to even be before then too.
I mean,
so,
Tim and I weren't gay or anything, but like we flew to Total Con in Massachusetts on the same plane. That's the kind of road buddies we were. When I added it up at the end, I think we made 27 drives to Wisconsin between Gamehole Con and Gary Con. And that doesn't even count. We didn't fly to North Texas together because generally Tim was there at the time to also see his kids.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you guys. Okay, maybe I'm thinking wrong. You guys didn't do a car trek there because I know you did a couple car treks too, right?
Not to Texas. That's about 20 hours from here.
Yeah. Okay, that's what but you guys would all do them to Gary Con and Wisconsin area. I mean, that's not. How far is that from Ohio?
Right. If I'm driving, you can make it in about 7 hours.
Oh, okay, so that's not too bad. Yeah.
No.
God, but with Tim in the car, woo, yeah.
Oh, well, people always like, they would want us to record our trips, and maybe you want that, but we would never do it. Except I made an exception for a couple of times for his show where we cleaned our acts up. But normally, the way the relationship Tim and I had, we are going at it, running our mouths, hammer and tongue, having one 7.5-hour conversation. With no let up except for gas station pee breaks and stuff. Or when Tim would have his Chicago Tourette's, just trying to get through traffic in Chicago.
Yeah. Let me go to the comments and just welcome people that are jumping on. Mr. Rourke, good to see you, buddy. Advanced Fantasy Games, DM Greg is here. Shellback View, you're here. Good to see you. Valimar Cleaver, good to see you. Saw you the other night on Tenkars. Let me see here. Drag is here. Thank you. Freezer. Matthew Sherwin, and Brass Monkey. Good to see you guys. Lion Arhad. I know I mess your name up all the time, but good to see you again too. Yeah, good to see all you guys. And yeah, Jim, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming on. And
It's my pleasure. Normally, this is where I say I look forward to getting to know you, but we've actually chatted enough. I feel like I do know you a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm excited just to hang.
Yeah, it's always kind of weird to get on these things, and yeah. So yeah, you're definitely thank you so much for jumping on. And yeah, we're gonna before the show we kind of talked about some areas and some things to chat about, and one of the, for those of you guys that don't know Jim, he's, guy, why don't you tell us what you're well known for as far as in the gaming industry?
Being a free floating general pain in everyone's ass. I'm well known for that. No, I had some minor credits way back in the early 80s because I was a teenager who had just found D&D, and so that's how I met Tim Kask. He moved to Cincinnati, which at the time was about 100 miles north of where I lived in Kentucky. And so we started driving up to his adventure gaming magazine offices, me and my writing partner, and please publish our stuff. And I was in a couple issues of Pegasus magazine for Judges Guild. But no, just one of hundreds of people. No big deal. And
did you ever write in for Dragon or anything like that?
No, Marvin the Mage was created. I'd gone back to college in my late 20s.
Yeah,
real, because actually I flunked out of college 3 times in a row by playing D&D like a idiot. I wish I could say I was partying, but it was just we got absorbed in D&D and actually didn't stop going to class. But later I went back, and that's when I started getting back into gaming. And I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
No, I was just bringing up Dragon because we know your comics, ended up in.
I had a comic strip going in the U of L University of Louisville student newspaper, and later became editor. But while I was doing that, I had created Marvin the Mage when I was playing D&D in '79. So I got with my writing buddy, because at the time I didn't know I could write my own stuff yet. I had a very not great childhood. So it took me a while to figure some stuff out. And so me and my writing buddy did a 14-page Marvin the Mage episode and sent it to Dragon Magazine when Roger Moore was editor. I don't know what I'm thinking. Who's going to publish 14 pages? And it wasn't that good. The writer I had paired up with, I rewrote all his jokes to make them funnier. And so, no, Roger Moore, I believe correctly, just said thumbs down to that. So no, never for Dragon Magazine. It skips directly for me from Judges Guild and Adventure Gaming Magazine to the next thing I got published was with Goodman Games. I think that's correct. During the Metamorphosis Alpha initial Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, but I guess my question was, did you ever, as when you were kind of just starting in, did you ever write to questions and the sage advice, or write into Dragon Magazine for where did you start kind of in your gaming kind of career? Non-professional.
Oh, non-professionally. I grew up in Frankfort, Kentucky, and went to Franklin County High School, and I'm the exact same age as the characters in that '70s show. So class of '78, and D&D, it makes me so mad because I had 2 shots at finding D&D as a very young person, because I would have been in 1974, I would have been 13, but I didn't get to Kentucky then. I met Luzaki in 1976 because we were going to sci-fi conventions, and I ran into him, but I didn't even know what D&D was, so I was too dumb to ask. I just bought a set of Star Trek battle manuals and some little plastic starships from Lou. And but then I went to college, and in '79, that's when a bunch of upperclassmen who were running the game from a combination of the AD&D books that had just come out and everything else, like a stack of Dragon magazines, a stack of
they were big at that time.
Little 6x9 booklets like this. One of my prized possessions. We just did a show about this on.
Let me see that again, because I think I got you backwards. I'm going to have to flip you.
There you go.
Yep. The Spellcaster's Bible. Wow. Yeah. So your first,
and then I got bit, and I got bit hard. And my first game was AD&D. My second game I imprinted on was Gamma World, and then after that was Champions.
oh
And
my God.
and we just went at it hammer and tong.
What did you play the most in college? What was it? D&D
A
or
whole
was it a
bunch of
lot of Gamma World?
AD&D,
Yeah.
but I ran Gamma World. Like everybody, we would divide it up. Like Henry's going to run Boot Hill. My brother, who introduced,
Ooh.
I gave my younger brother. I went straight home from college and got him a Holmes box set, and then he took D&D to our high school. So real
Yeah.
quickly, within a year, there's a little yarn shop. One of my brother's friends had. It was downtown Frankfort, Kentucky, and it was like Mayberry RFD, and his grandma's got a yarn shop, and he talked to his grandma into carrying gaming stuff. So in one corner of this yarn shop, the Busy Bee in Frankfort, Kentucky, suddenly there were Dragon magazines and some modules and some Grenadier minis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my brother was the AD&D. We played mostly in his campaign. My first DM in college, I just ran into it at Tim Kask's Celebration of Life a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
We played AD&D with him, and I started running Gam World, and I off and on ran that Gam World campaign for like 30 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great game. You also,
but I imprinted hard on it, and I didn't discover Metamorphosis Alpha. I just missed it. It wasn't still on the shelves anywhere when I started. So it was like 10 years later, I ran into Metamorphosis Alpha and went, oh, this is even better.
When did yeah, 'cause I have the
76.
Yeah, it was 76. Yeah, that was pretty early on too. Yeah. So yeah, I failed to even think of that. That came out before AD&D did. Wow. Yeah, the first run of it.
Yeah,
wow.
People love to squabble about was Traveler or Metamorphosis Alpha the first sci-fi RPG, and
What's your opinion?
Who cares? I love them both. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Wow. So you did a lot of AD&D, and that was your first kind of brush with Dungeons and Dragons, and I can see your love for Gamma World. I mean, that shows in some of the.
I mean, I wrote the biggest Valentine to it I'm capable of.
I know. I mean, I could see how that kind of influenced you into what you did later on, and
Well, so did AD&D, because it was a different time. It was a very do-it-yourself time. Even in college, we were broke, and are we going to spend beer money on a $8 module, or are we just going to make it up ourselves? We made it up ourselves, kind of thing. And AD&D, right in the appendices, told you how to take those characters straight to Game World and Boot Hill.
Oh my God, yes, and Boot Hill, and Boot Hill.
We couldn't wait to. So I imprinted on D&D, Game World, and the idea and concept of the genre mash.
Yeah.
In fact, my brother started his campaign based on Robert Asperin's Another Fine Myth.
Oh my God!
So he had some sci-fi elements baked into his campaign from the very start.
Did you guys ever use Psionics?
My first dungeon master allowed them in his campain, but none of us ever made that role.
I've had over my career being a DM, I've had 3 characters, and not only in AD&D, but 2 in AD&D and 1 actually in OD&D that rolled Psionics. And it's what a what a crazy thing to DM is.
I don't even know which supplement that's in. The Psionics rules in AD&D are crazy enough. I can't imagine what the OD&D
they're I don't even have the right word for OD&D Psionics. Yeah, but we did it. Yeah, it was a guy who his name was Eric Coe, and he almost crapped himself when he rolled Psionics at the table. And I think he was a paladin, and he had such low stats that it didn't really make a difference. Your psionic ability, or I think it's psionic ability is what they call it. He couldn't do much, but it was just a cool thing to, hey, now you're open to mind flayers. Anyways,
like any good Gary Gygax design, there's a price to be paid.
There's a price to pay. Yeah. You guys, I wanted to, those you guys in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Jim.
I see a question.
Okay. Oh, you do? Okay, good eye. Jim, what's your favorites? You're talking about this one from Advanced Families?
Yeah, Gamma World Edition.
Yeah, let's bring this up.
Well, 2E is a great edition because it's basically just 1E cleaned up and with better art. Either of those is probably my favorite. I ran through that 30-year campaign. I ran every single edition at least once, including the third edition was the color bar. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I never ran the White Wolf version where they made everything about nanobytes. I bought the books and I read them, but I didn't have a campaign active when that, so I haven't
Sure.
run every edition. But we even played the seventh edition that TSR did, or that WotC did, and
Watch did, yeah.
that was based on 4E D&D and had little card mechanics, and it was okay for a one shot, but you couldn't run a campaign. At the very end, I was running Mutant Future Rules. Prior to MCC, I was running Mutant Future Rules, but 1E Gamma World as a setting.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I mean, Gamma, what a game, You know, I'm a fan of all those old TSR games. Gamma, Gamma World. I'm a huge Boot Hill fan.
Boot Hill, Gangbusters,
even I'll put my neck out and say I liked Indiana Jones too. So.
Oh goodness! Next thing you're going to tell me is you enjoyed Buck Rogers.
Just get out of here. But yeah, I mean, even Star Frontiers. I played a lot of Star Frontiers.
Yep. We did about 6 months of that.
Yeah, as tough as that system is for as far as if you really play it out of the book, it's tough to even hit anything when you start the game. And but yeah, great. I mean, I just love I just love all those old TSR games, and that's super cool.
I mean, back in the day, we were just your typical obnoxious little power gamer murder hobos, So
oh yeah,
our buddy that tried to start a Boot Hill campaign, I believe it ultimately fell apart because we, as players, kept trying to turn Boot Hill into D&D, as you do.
Yeah.
So we all had to have nitro. It was like a Knights at Dinner Table cattle punk story. We all had to have nitro. We all had to have dynamite sticks, and we'd be lobbing dynamite sticks and trying to hit them with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Kind of craziness.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah, you guys, if thanks for that question. If you have any more, if any other questions, feel free to put them in there, guys, and we'll try to keep an eye on the chat to
Somebody's saying self-dealing Buck Rogers. Yeah, you got it, boy. I mean, there should just be a bylaw of WotC laid down that nobody can manage D&D whose last name is Williamson. That's a disqualifier.
Big disqualifier. Wow. So yeah, AD&D, you and then so talking a little bit about I mean, more kind of recent stuff. I mean, you're very well known for DCC and MCC and the whole Goodman Games stuff. And tell me a little bit about Mutant Crawl Classics.
All these glorious times we're talking about when we were young and first found D&D, I thought that was, for decades, I thought that was like, you're dating your first girl. You're never going to love a girl that same way again. And around 2011 or 12 or so, I was out. I decided to get back into gaming. Actually, it goes back to 2010 when I brought back Marvin the Mage as a webcomic. That was I'm like, okay, this will get me back into gaming. So by 2011 or 2012, I'm system shopping, and we almost went with Castles and Crusades, and that was 4th edition D&D days. I don't think 5e.
Yeah, I remember it very well. I was an Encounters GM. Yeah,
I've got a nephew, and him and all his high school buddies were all about the 4e. I played it once, and we spent 3 hours trying to kill 5 kobolds, and I was out. That's everybody's allowed to like what they like.
Yeah.
And anyway, through that process, I stumbled across DCC first at Gary Con, and then when it actually came out back at my friendly game store, and fell in love the same way all over again, to the extent of wanting to go and evangelize the system. And from there, the way I feel about Gamma World, it was an easy step, and I wasn't even the only person. Reed St. Filippo saw the same thing. Okay, let's just take DCC and Gamma World and put them together. So he did Crawling on a Broken Moon, which is now that system's Umerica. And there was a whole Google Plus group back in the Google Plus days.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I can't remember what it was called, but it was the same idea. Let's do a Gamma World version of DCC. So the originality I brought to it was more or less the execution, not so much the idea. The idea was just a kind of an obvious no-brainer.
Yeah. I played a lot of not a super like, I'm still always revert back to, the gritty, first edition D&D. I can't get over the smell of the books. It's the nostalgia just takes me beyond any other system that's out there right now.
All you got to see is some Trampier art, some Dave Trampier
that's
art,
all you got to
or
see, man.
little Tom Wam Beholder or Blink Dog, and you're like, oh,
done. I'm done. I'm back. I'm back, man. I'm back. And but I did play, and I had a buddy who was really into DCC too, and I thought it was a great system. The mechanics for crazy magic and the misfires, and it's
the game store that MCC was born in is sadly closed. The pandemic finally did it in, but at Gateway Games and more, it was glorious because the owner of the Gateway Games was a gentleman named Todd Bund, who is not that much younger than I am. And he was raising kids in this store on the principle of try everything. So, there's a Pathfinder night, and there's a D&D night, and there's a HeroClix night for sure. But then they're playing AD&D, and Todd himself ran a campaign that went through each edition, and they would just roll over to the new edition, reconfigure the characters, and continue the story.
Sure, yeah.
And that's what I was talking to Jeff Emery about. That I started to say earlier was, I just happened to be talking to him today, and he was relating his DCC experiences and that he liked it, but maybe it wasn't his main game because of how wild and crazy the magic system is. And
yeah, it's a little on the edge. If it has that weirdness.
I like that, but I'm from the old school where I can switch. Todd ran us through Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, and first 2 people that showed up got an extra 150,000 gold to spend on magic items. So you bet your butt I was there to roll up my magic user. It's a crack of dawn. And I can switch and have just as much fun with that Vancian. It's like physics. You know exactly what the spell's going to do, to DCC, and have fun both ways.
Yeah. There's definitely a what's the right word I want to use? A chaotic element to how magic works in that. And it's fun. And I recommend exactly what you said a couple seconds ago. I recommend that you play as many different systems as you can. And I have. And then next thing you know, I always just go back to this, and I don't know why. It's just, you kind of hit it on the nose. It could be the art, it could be the memories, it could be whatever, it's there. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
But other than that, I'm a real live and live guy, because I started out as an artist before as a writer. I understand that people's playstyle preferences are just like their preferences for movies, television, books, whatever, fashion.
Yeah.
It's more or less hardwired in your brain. So there's no right way. Because Jeff was telling me, we mostly play Pathfinder, and stylistically, that's just not my cup of tea. But it is for thousands and thousands of people, and or edition wars. Those drive me bananas. I have my preferences. I'm happy to talk about my preferences and logic for it, but there's no value assigned to that. It's not right or it's wrong.
It's your opinion. It's your opinion.
Especially if it's a whole group of you at a table. If you're having fun, I mean, I know people say that all the time. If you're having fun, you're doing it right. Well, if you are a group that's united in, you want to go on a Pathfinder, whatever they're called, the adventure tree, the path, I guess.
Yeah.
And come roaring in on day one with 14 pages of character backstory and a uber powerful superhero character. I would just go play a superhero game. But if that's what you want to do, go do it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Have a great time.
Yeah. I got to go to the comments really quick here. Okay. Blair Blur is in the house, and she just did a super chat and said, "What the hell is going on in here?" Blair, thank you so much for the super chat. And what's going on in here is we have the one and only Jim Wampler here. So
his 2 claims to fame are Mutant Crawl Classics RPG and being friends with Tim Kask so long I'm starting to look like him.
That's
kind of like owners and their pets.
And that's a great segue that you bring up Tim. I know how close you were with Tim, and I got the opportunity to talk to him quite a bit, and
he was
really
very giving
good
with
guy.
his time that way.
He was one of the most crotchety, grognardy, but as soon as you talk to him, he was not that. He was one of the most approachable, and I learned that very early on at the lodge, and at the Gary Con, and just built a relationship with him, and
It was very much a con, Tim. That's all business and very curmudgeonly. But I got to know the real guy.
Oh, I know.
Had a heart of gold a yard wide. Took kids out, disabled kids out fishing. He and his wife.
I heard so many stories about
tutored middle schoolers in their neighborhood here in Cincinnati,
his generosity.
he until he couldn't anymore, he was a pollster. Every single election, he would work the polls. That was sort of
there's a lot
paying it back.
There's a lot of that people that don't know about him as far as in that, and I've heard so many different stories, and it's so crazy. I mean,
if you got on his bad side and he let you have it with both barrels, I feel sorry. But it's every man for himself. I had to, even though we were best friends, didn't mean we didn't fight. He'd turn the gun on me every once in a while, and I had 2 tricks. I have to flex on the please don't cuss. This is
it's okay.
Tim would get mad every once in a while and just go, "Fuck you, Wampler," and I don't take that crap off anybody, so I fuck you harder, Kask, right back, and and we'd have our little fight and make up, and we'd be fine. And the other trick I learned on those car drives that you were just talking about, 7.5 hours from Cincinnati to Lake Geneva. And Chicago traffic's already got him really good and aggravated, and then I say something he doesn't like, and he goes off on me, and it's funny when he's mad at somebody else. It's not funny when it was aimed at you. So I just learned to say Dave Arneson, and like a computer program override, he would
like a reboot,
flip and start ranting about Dave Arneson.
Yeah, it's funny. There was one point, and it was
not to get Dave Arneson. They just didn't get along.
They didn't get along. There was one point where I had to give him a phone call and give him bad news on something, and I was literally, and this is only last year, and I knew I was gonna get an ass reaming from him.
It's like you're gonna get in trouble with your dad.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly how I felt. It was so weird, but I ended up calling him, and we chatted about this very specific thing, and I gave him the bad news, and he was pissed. He was freaking pissed. And then we started, it kind of settled down for a second, and we literally stayed on the phone for the next 2 hours talking about gaming. I mean, that was Tim in a nutshell.
One of the early Gary Cons I was at, me and Michael Curtis borrowed Tim's, at the time it was a Jeep. He had a Jeep. So we borrowed it to go into town to go see Gary's little thing on the park. And it broke down on us. His starter went. And I had to have it towed back to the lodge. It was so long ago it was at the lodge. And talk about, come back with your shield or lion on it. I was just, oh my God. And I had to interrupt him in a game and tell him we had it towed back and hand him back the keys. And I was for sure gonna leave my head when I had to go. And no, he was fine.
Yeah.
Before Mike Curtis and I were just standing in this Gulf Station parking lot with our heads down like Wally and the Beaver. We're going to get it now.
Yeah. It's so funny that I felt that way when that's such him in a nutshell. And I do want to double click on that. He's such a great guy to talk to. And when I found out about his passing, seriously, you were the first person I texted, because I know how close you guys were. And just, I don't know. I don't remember what I said to you, but
I can talk about it now because I've run out of craps to give. But in 10 years ago, I used to get I'm name dropping when I would bring Tim up. And I mean, no, I'm not name dropping. I met him in 1981 and he lived 15 miles down the street from me. And he's like the adopted uncle. I've got an uncle that is Tim's age. It's only Tim was 12 years older than me. I've got an uncle that's 13 years older than me. And Tim's the uncle I should have had.
Wow. Yeah. What a great dude, man. What a great dude.
Glad you got to spend some time with him.
Yeah. you know, there's a, and it's a myth, and that I think that people, and it might be just my personality too, because I don't give a crap. I'll reach out to somebody, you know what I mean? Like, and him and there's a couple other of the old school Grognard type guys that you'll be surprised. You'll be
Oh
surprised.
yeah, yeah.
You'll be surprised.
I first met Jeff Easley that way. I was for the first 2 issues, I was art director of Gygax magazine back when that was a thing, and for the second issue, Jason Elliott said, "I want a Jeff Easley cover. Go get it. The only rule is
Just go ask.
It can't be printed anywhere." And so I just cold called him and talked him into it. And it's not because I'm super persuasive or anything. And he was great. He's like, "Well, I've got this one that was only ever a puzzle in Japan. How about that?" I'm like, "That'd be great."
Mission accomplished. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But anyways, I did want to chat a little bit about Mr. Kask, and what a surprise, what a shock, and you're fortunate to know him the way you did. So
I feel very lucky, and I don't want to get sentimental, but it's been a thing. I mean, it's not. I mean, this is personal to me because it was Tim, but I mean, we're losing the old guard. They're all gone, and we're getting down to like 1.5 people.
Yeah,
next half generation.
Yeah, so, 1.5. You're right. That's a good way to put it.
For those guys that are still coming to the cons, go live it up, and they don't mind talking.
Yeah, do it. Go and approach people, guys. Approach people. There's got to do it. Yeah. Well, yeah. So Jim, another kind of, I guess it's a good segue to this other thing. I wanted to chat with you about.
I warned you I was a long talker. I got that from Tim.
Look at this beard, man. We were chatting a little bit too, and there's a lot about you too that people don't know about, and about all of us, and you and I. One thing I think is funny is one of the things we were chatting about online is
stuff we have back in
gaming. Yeah, I mean, I took a hiatus too, and took a little hiatus in gaming, and kind of did some bad things in life, and I don't particularly remember my 90s and 2000s.
Right.
And you were like, I'm right there with you.
I'm like, oh no, dude, the 90s are mostly a blur to me too.
Yeah.
I'm 27 years clean and sober now. Let's see. Oh, but in 2 months it'll be 28. See, when you still count it like that, it means something to you. But I got sober when I was 37 because I was a rampaging alcoholic, and I don't, it's not what I lead with, but I don't mind talking about it because, well, when you have that problem and you are taught by whoever how to overcome it, it invariably will involve something that I believe in now anyway, generally, which is when somebody does stuff for you, you're not supposed to pay them back. You're obligated to pay it forward.
Yeah. And it's funny because
and any industry full of creatives is also going to be full of people with the whatever it is that makes
that's the one thing about the gaming industry is it's full of humans. It's full of humans. Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing,
well, I mean, some of our worst actors in the industry, we always think we're somehow special when, every tech startup or corporation I ever worked for had the same kinds of people in it. So it's no, gaming is not worse than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, it's full of humans. It's full of humans with real problems and real things. We and on this show we talk a lot about. I mean, PTSD and there's a big. In the community, there's a big presence of veterans that have PTSD and disabled veterans, and I talk quite a bit about this here, but I don't think I've told anybody on this. There's a handful of people that know this, but I'm also, and that makes me happy to know that we have this in common. And I knew this a while back because we talked about this at North Texas. But yeah, myself, I'm coming up on 16 years of sobriety myself, and well, it's you know, and that's part of why, you know, it's such a weird, you know, I look at it as, you know, I got a second chance. You know, I seriously got a second chance. And then some of the things like I talked about last year, you know, that happened last year. And that's kind of why this whole channel formed, you know, is because there's a lot of people out there struggling,
And you don't, and the main thing to take away is you don't have to. There's help.
and yeah, and that is the craziest thing is that's one thing I found, you know, by getting sober is, and well, I was very relieved because I walked around for so long, Jim, thinking that I was alone and this was my lot in life. You know what I mean? It's just pretty bad, you know, and then I found that there's this group of people in this, and you can do it with the help of others. And so that's kind of my, you know, and it was for you too, you know, your motto.
Yeah. There's parts of it parts of it I'm not going to get into in a public venue, but I'm happy to talk about all of that one-on-one with anyone. I will say that generally speaking, there was a certain way and program I got myself sober in. Well, that was poorly stated that I experienced sobriety in, but I'm not personally. I mean, I've been a chemical dependency rehab counselor. I did that once for a couple of years. I don't care how you try to get clean. The effort is its own reward, and I'll talk to you and help you. Because that's how I keep my oars in the water.
Yeah, I think that's kind of our job that have been through. You know, it's kind of, you know, it's ingrained. It gets ingrained in you when you've been through the mud, and you just want to return that and help the next person, because there's so many. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, not just in the gaming community, but you know that's what we're kind of probably the closest to. But yeah, kudos to you, man. Yeah, and that was one of the.
It's a good way to. It's a good practice anyway, because it extends to everything else too. I mean, me and a lot of the friends in the industry that I have that are tight with me personally, we all are pretty much on the same beam of we're glad to help anybody. I mean, talking is free. You don't know how to set your Kickstarter up or anything you think I know. Happy to talk to you.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. You know, within this community here is you mentioned Kickstarters, and yeah, we should definitely talk about that too. But you know,
I'm on an apology tour for one of my Kickstarters. So yeah, please let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, go ahead. 100%.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, I've got a Kickstarter.
No.
I had 7 Kickstarters in a row that were great and all delivered, and then the 8th one, my math might be off by 1 Kickstarter. The 8th one, I'm about to send to the printers now, but it's 2 years late, and it was just a cursed project, and you know, it was a good lesson in humility, because you look at it happen to other people and you go, oh, I'll never do that. Well, sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes health issues crop up, or sometimes the author of the lead article yanks it out from under you the day after you announce the Kickstarter publicly. Sometimes an author turns in something that you have to completely rewrite. This poor book, it's just never had a chance, but it's done now. I'm in final copy edits, and it's the PDF will probably be out next week. It's certainly within a few weeks.
Yeah. Did you, when you were doing your Kickstarters, were you managing them fully from the top to the bottom?
Yeah. You know, like a good, you know, egomaniacal overachiever, right?
Is it tough? Is it tough, just kind of the bombardment that you get and the expectation and the timelines and the crunch and the learning curves and I mean, after you do several, I'm sure the
I'm sorry, I'm going to step to the side. A question was, is Wampler the Overmind? The Overmind as a concept was I don't think I wrote that book. I just provided the springboard to whoever wrote it. But anyway, the Overmind in that module is based of all things on a character that appeared for one panel in a Mr. Miracle comic book by Jack Kirby.
Got it.
Sorry.
Good question, Drag. Thanks, man.
What were we talking about?
Yeah. Hey, I'm probably just like you. I squirrel pretty easily. Yeah, if you see anything in there, you guys ask questions, please. And Jim seems like he's really good, better than me at spotting them. So because you're you're 2, I'm 0. So you've got the questions in there. No, I was gonna say, it's interesting because we do talk a lot about Kickstarters here. I've
got 2 Kickstarter projects ready to go, but because I won't personally start one until I have completely delivered on the last one. They're just sitting and waiting. And one of them is for a secret project I can't announce, but I can talk about the one that will be next the second I get this issue 6 of Scientific Barbarian in everybody's hands. Is that good?
Yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead. If you want to kind of talk about it, plug it, give everybody a preview. Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a good guest.
Oh no, dude, this is all for you. Please interrupt everything, whatever. I am here for you. So yeah.
I've spent the last couple of years buckling down and teaching myself Blender. So the next 2 Kickstarters I'm going to do will be all 3D print miniatures. And the one I can talk about is on a license I have had for years to an old Heritage models. Do you go back to Heritage and the Dungeon Dweller set paint and play sets?
Oh yeah.
Well, way back when I started, the guy that ran the Bluegrass Wargamers group, my first gaming group, was on a back then it was no email, so it was just regular snail mail relationship with David Helber down at Heritage. And David would send him, Barsoomian prototypes that were never done and all kinds of information. And the game we imprinted on was a paint and play set called Galacta. Just a little sci-fi man-to-man skirmish rules. And we bought those sets, and there was a blister pack line, painted all the minis and beat it to death. And then David Helber had written a second advanced version of it that he sent us, but was never actually published because the Heritage went out of business around 81. And I got a license from David Helber because he ended up with the rights to the game to do a third version. And I did that. The first blossoming of Mud Puppy Games was about 2005, 2006. And I published Galacta in partnership with the guy who at the time owned or still does, own the miniature molds. Well, that guy has gone somewhere off, and I think he still sells those, but I'm going to do a Fat Dragon Games Tom Tellis model, completely digital version of the game. So it'll be a revised rule set you get as a PDF and a complete line of the minis that I've hand sculpted myself. Took me a couple of years to do I think it's 38 minis in total. And that's going to be a Kickstarter as soon as I get this book delivered.
Yeah.
And it won't be expensive. I mean, the total buy-in, get everything is not going to be.
Is it the STLs, or you're actually going to print them out?
Oh no, that's why I said it's going to be the Fat Dragon Games module, because Tom has got several board games that you just buy digitally. The big one that just came out is Valkyrie. It's a Starfleet battles kind of game, and it's going hot guns. And way back prior to that, he did a game called World War Tesla that Jim Ward had some involvement in. And when you order those, the PDFs show up, you print them out. The game pieces and terrain show up digitally, you print them out. You get the STLs, you print the minis and then paint them.
Yeah.
So it's cool in that it's just push button.
Yeah. Yeah. See you later, Mr. Work. Thanks for jumping on. See, you got to go. Thanks for being here, buddy. That guy, Mr. Rourke, on there. I started playing D&D with him. God, that was back in 81 when we both started playing. So he's one of my oldest buddies from AD&D era. Yeah, when our moms used to throw our books away because of they were satanic.
Isn't that the best though? Because Tim's it wasn't Awake, it was called A Celebration of Life, but it's the same thing as Awake. It was just 2 weekends ago, and I put the word out, and I had the privilege at Tim's Wake of introducing a guy that was one of the mutant murder hobos who play tested with us, our group, a member of my group, to my very first DM from 1979, who also was a friend of Tim's.
Wow.
So it was like watching the worlds collide when I got to introduce those two guys. Because of course he just starts telling all kinds of stories on what a bratty player I was in 1979.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, his wake was celebration of life. What wake? Celebration of life was what? It was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago. Yeah, I saw the
I
post.
was extremely happy that maybe 14, 15 gamers showed up because Tim didn't play the I'm famous card at home. So Jeff Emery and I are actually two of the executors on Tim's will, not to be
Yeah.
morbid, just to help Cheryl, his wife, liquidate the assets and get money for him.
Yeah. Uh-oh, sorry about that, guys. As a tradition here, when my thing goes off, I okay, so here it is, guys.
You gotta put a buck in
Medical
the swear jar or
BLS.
something.
No, I'm a volunteer firefighter here in town. So we got a medical BLS, 59-year-old female, had surgery, removed. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Okay. Anyways, that was what that was, guys.
So you don't have to put on your Spidey suit and go.
No, we have a duty crew on tonight. So, but yeah, usually I can't, even though the sound is off on this, it overrides it. So, but that's how we get our pages. Yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, Kickstarters. So you've done, I mean, God, over the years, you've done so many of them.
I mean, at a certain level, yeah. I think my top one was I got in the 5-figure range, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing like Kelsey Dion and Shadow Dark, which, by the way, I only bought and read after I started seeing online pushback. And people thought Kelsey was sucking the air out of the room or some ridiculous crap.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but I want to read the book because people starting to fight about it, like gamers do, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody, we were talking about that earlier. Everybody's got their system, and edition wars happen. And
I not only read her book and got what she did.
Yeah.
So I understand that she's fully deserving of the praise because she's part of a generation of gamers, including a couple that I mentor, a little bit myself, that are in their 20s and 30s and appreciate the high risk, high reward, old school play style, but want to repackage it for younger gamers now to separate it from the era, because the era is where it has all the baggage.
Yeah.
All the old, grognards like me that want to argue about ascending or descending armor class. A 20-something walk in the game store doesn't give a rat's ass about any of that. And Kelsey nailed it. I saw exactly what she did, where she incorporated modern mechanics and a modern rule writing approach to that play style. And I couldn't be more for anything, because it's the play style I like.
Well, and the mechanic that they use for and hold that thought, because I do want to jump here to DM Greg Advanced Fantasy Games just gifted somebody a membership to the channel. Thank you so much, Advanced Fantasy Games. Appreciate it. Those of you guys that just know that if you one way to really support the channel, not only guys, go on, hit the like button on this video. If you're not subscribed to the DM and Friends, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to take it to the next level and support the channel in another way, you can become a member and go on there. You'll see some of the perks. Still working on a lot of that stuff, but I really appreciate. There it is. And so Marco Antonio Trio 616, you received a membership gifted by Advanced Fantasy Games. Thanks so much, dude. Appreciate it. And he says, supporting DM Angelo, keep up the great work and having great guests. I guess you're labeled as a great guest.
I can only do my best, but I'm happy to serve.
It's funny. Going back to Shadow Dark, it's very interesting, because I think a lot of some of the old school stuff, the concepts of, like, I'm a big person about pressure, and I've done many videos on applying pressure in your game, whether it's resource pressure, different things in your campaign. And I think she hit it right on the nose with the torch thing. You know what I mean? And that's a form of pressure. You know what I mean? That's a form of time pressure. And you know what I mean? Like, well, things get worse when this is over. Make
I
sure
want to say asset management, but that's not the resource management.
What's that?
I guess that game mechanic would be resource management, which means that's the same mechanic as in, Catan or something. You gotta figure out what you got and how to manage it.
Yeah. And I personally just call it resource pressure. You're running out of this. What are you going to do? But we got to get back to the surface. Before this. So I think she nailed it on that. I think it's great. People love it, and I think it's
Matt Finch used to run us on an online game of Swords and Wizardry, and buddy, you better know how many torches and how much oil you got for that lantern. Especially if, like me, you enjoy playing human magic users. You need that light.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question for you, because I want to ask you: Are you when you run games, and are you all about counting the gold and counting the resources and counting the I am in campaign. Sure.
Me personally, not so much, except when it's something more directly impactful of the scenario or whatever is going on.
Yeah. If you wrote the scenario that actually factors in, you'll use it.
I am very much an old
school. I was going to say I would differentiate, because campaign and con style play is kind of different. Like I do my campaign way different than I do. It's way more crunchier than it is at a con. You know what I mean? Because you only have 4 hours. You have X amount of years over here.
Right. Because I was about to say, but my example was all from convention play. I will set up the pre-gens where there's ridiculous stuff at the bottom of the character sheet, and I'm so old school as a game master. I want you to explain to me how you use that bag of marbles, or how you use the shiny rock thing that's on there. And if you tell me a story that's convincing enough, then it just happens.
Yeah. You don't need a dice roll. You don't need my okay. I mean, you convinced the DM. Yeah. Have you ever counted? I mean, you love magic users. You ever had a DM have you inventory all your spell components?
You have forced me now to admit that we entirely waived that mechanic from day one in 1979. I never had to track components except the diamond you needed to get resurrections.
Yeah, or
no DM I played for, and at a game convention, you're there to have fun, so it's a different thing. In my home campaign, that's a group where we trust each other.
Yeah,
but I am an old school GM, and if you have a commitment to getting your whole party murdered by a monster, I'll allow it. I'll certainly allow it. But I understand the deep magic of game mastering, which is you're not there to be it's so late at night for me. You're not there. Help me out. Be my human thesaurus. This is what Tim needs to do for you. I'm thinking of a descriptor that starts with the letter D. Oh no, I'm not an adversarial GM, but I understand the necessity of sometimes role-playing one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is trying to entertain the troops, and you've got to create a sense of drama by hook or by crook.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, so if you're dedicated, if your idea of having fun is to show up at a convention and just start whacking everything you see to an adventure, that's not going to end well for your character. But if that's how you have fun, I will help you.
Yeah,
I'll help you out.
Yeah, my DMing style, I think when it comes to that, like I don't kill players. They usually kill themselves, by their choices. You know what I mean? And
Jim Ward used to say that, and it wasn't true. Jim Ward personally enjoyed killing players.
Well, he he loved it. Yeah,
but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I just I think it's very my style is I'll just put a situation out there and see what try not to set the expectations of it's going to go a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Which I think it's hard as a DM because you have a vision of maybe what that path is going to be, but just throw out a situation and I'm just as surprised as they are how things turn out. You know what I mean?
Well, right. And you have to absolutely be flexible. Like if there is one door in the dungeon you haven't mapped any further, you can just count on a group of players to head directly for it.
Every single time.
And so, like little everyday problems like that, I will just keep them. I will prevent them from getting through that door long enough for them to start speculating on what's the other side, pick the best idea, and that's what's there. The player
Mm.
gets validation that guessed correctly, even though he wasn't guessing. I just listened to him and put it back there. Little, little tips and tricks like that.
Yeah. Let me go to the comments here. I'm seeing a couple people in here that I want to give shout outs
Somebody actually
to.
watched that Matt Finch campaign. We were in Swords of Jadoba. I've forgotten it was called that.
Who was that? Where'd that comment come from?
I think
Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'll bring it up. Matthew Sherman said this. Yep. Yeah, one of the first live plays I found years ago. That's cool, man. That's super
Matt
cool.
was a great dungeon master, and it was my very. I mean, we're close enough the same age. We just came from the same area, so it's not. Is it adversarial between the DM and the players? Absolutely not. But does it have shades of that? I mean, like Matt had his own peculiar rules for how lightning bolts bounced. So, and then gave me a wand of lightning bolts, a little double magic, right? So
God,
it only took me 2 or 3 encounters to master his reflection rules, and then I'm up on a fort wall. I can't pronounce the French word, but you'll know what I mean.
Yes.
I've created an infidel. How do you say it? You got them in crossfire. I've got the lightning bolt ricocheting off and back.
Yeah, bouncing off the wall.
And taking out orcs 50 at a time.
Yeah, almost like a chain lightning. Yeah. Even though
I could tell he was getting mad, but
yeah. God, many a games we've debated on the trajectory, and I guess that's the right word of a lightning bolt, a carefully placed lightning bolt.
I'm a big fan of that kind of give and take, as long as everybody's happy with it and it works. Like, because it cuts both ways. My single favorite Gary Con game I have ever run was 3 Gary Cons ago now, where on one side of the table I had a whole podcast of people that their podcast is about Mutant Crawl Classics, so they know the rules and know how to play the game. And the other side of the table is Jim Scatch's kid, Haley, who's an almost every time winner of the DCC tournaments, my brother and sister-in-law, and a friend of mine from here in Cincinnati. And partway through the game started with mass combat that was just there to set up the main adventure, because at the back of this mass combat was a cyber lich with an impenetrable reflective force field that reflected everything you can think of, and a sword that would just atomize your body and suck your soul in the sword. And the way I've run the game a bunch of times, the second half of the game is everybody gets sucked in the sword. Now you've got to fight your way through this dungeon that's inside the sword, right? They didn't get to that because Haley Scatch and a bunch of them, I hear them down there in the corner, and they're plotting something, and we're going to get Jim this time. We're really going to get him. And they figured out how to spend enough luck to ramp up somebody's spell where they teleported inside the cyber lich's force field and took him out. Like 2 hours in the game, he's gone. Well, when that happens, I'm just like, I couldn't be happier. I'm not mad. I'm like, good, well done, because they've actually genuinely outthought my writing.
Wow.
And now that I've said all that in public, if the adventure ever comes out, I'll fix it. You can believe I'll fix that loophole, but they found it.
Yeah. That's some of the coolest things when you kind of sets up a situation and you think that, man, these guys aren't going to get around it, and they totally do. I
couldn't have been happier, because they played smarter than I'd written.
Yeah, I love that as a DM running, and even as a player, like when you're figuring out those kind of things, and surprising, the surprise element of it, like, oh my God, we did it, or oh my God, they did it,
Well, plus you're preventing yourself from railroading, which nobody enjoys.
Yeah,
and you can tell when you're being railroaded.
Yeah. Let me go to, I want to give some shout outs to some people that joined. Poor Orc Child, good to see you, man. I see you in here. Thank you for jumping on. Rex Young, Agile's in the house. Oh, Stephen Clements, I know I saw you earlier. I didn't say hi, but good to see you, buddy.
Is Skeeter Green here?
What's that?
I see Skeeter Green's name. Is he here?
Somebody mentioned him. This one right here. that was Dreg mentioning Skeeter Green is
Oh,
infamous. Wow, what a crowd to see. I have to watch that.
I just thought that was funny because Skeeter broke one of my con games too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was running Mega Heroes, my unpublished superhero game, and he figured out a way around some time looping shenanigans I had going on so bad I had to go outside and smoke and figure out what happened next.
And yeah, let me keep going through. So Agile's here, Brass Monkey, Flint Fireforge, Swords and Stones. Yeah, thank you guys for. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. Oh, I was gonna miss Egincium. Good to see you guys all. Thanks for jumping on. And if anybody's got questions for Jim, throw them in the chat, and I'll hopefully see him. And Jim will probably see him before I do.
You've got a great crowd that shows up for these.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I get so much joy out of sitting and talking to people, and B, when I just everybody in this gaming community has the community that is kind of the DM and Friends, the gaming community that's been formed here. Everybody's been super awesome. I mean, all the comments in the videos, all the chat, that I can't even keep up with. Like it's in my brain. I'm looking like this to you.
Well, it starts at the top.
Such a great group. Such a great group of people.
It starts at the top, and we're sitting here talking about game mastering. You're the game master of this podcast, so.
So, yeah, it's the DM.
Oh, somebody, yeah, and Matt was running us in Swords and Wizardry, which is an old school version of old D&D. So yeah, lightning bolts bounce in those rules.
Yeah,
or reflect, whatever you call it.
I think AD&D it does too, right?
As I recall, it does.
Yeah, and because it gives a specific length for it too. So if you shoot it,
that's right.
And yeah, I've gotten into this, and I said that earlier.
You got to know your volume for fireball, and you got to know your distance for lightning bolt.
Yes, lightning bolts bounce. Yeah, it's really funny that it's really funny that how AD&D in particular, because that's what I always refer to. How it not that I reflect this at all, but it upped my vocabulary because I had to look up words. It also got me into counting volume, for a fireball. It got me into counting distance and this and converting that and just that alone. I think that's what I really love. Why I go back to it, because just all of us getting together trying to figure out the volume of fireball that goes off and how it's gonna affect and go down the hallway, and I just love that crunchiness.
Well, I mean. Vocabulary, math, problem solving, teamwork.
There's
social a software company here in town that had me and my buddy Rick Hull, come out and run their whole company through some TCC games as a team building exercise.
That is freaking awesome.
You can learn so much.
I think all companies should do that instead of us sitting in because the company I work at, we have compliance videos we got to do. And then there's team building sessions of some sort of them end up usually at a bar or something like that. But yeah, that is interesting.
Well, check this. When I was a rehab counselor, I created my own group session that was based on role playing because I'd read up on how you do that. And it was a stupid, simple exercise. It was just everybody got a legal pad and a pen. And the invitation was to honestly write your ideal world in living circumstances. No rules. Which of course messes everybody up. There's no guidelines, no rules. Just picture the life the way you want it to be, and this is in a rehab for chemical dependency. And then we talked about it, and it was fantastic. There were some two young artists here in town that had their own gallery up on the other side of town, and they had backed MCC, and they invited me to come out and run a game of MCC as performance art in the installation piece that they had created in their gallery. So it was like they'd made a fake, but it didn't look fake, like a stone. It was like the Flintstones. There was a stone table, these hand carved wooden chairs, leaves everywhere, spooky lighting, candles. And then my job was just to show up and run a game. And I never had such a good time in my life. It was just random art patrons came in and sat down and played Harley Stroh's Sailor of the Starless Seas. And one of the artist's mother, who was close to my age.
Sailor of the Starless Seas, yeah.
One of the artist's mother, had never played a role-playing game in her life. And, half an hour in, she's not going to go into that castle in Sailors of Starless Sea unless she can bring her horse.
That's
she
so
completely, got sucked into it. So
wow,
there's a lot of things you can do with games.
Yeah, it's funny. There's and I just brought up his comment. Agile Monk. We talk a lot about. He does a lot of work with veterans. PTSD vets, and there's a form of therapy that involves role playing games. And there's a whole thing. I don't remember what it's called. Agile. If you want to throw it in the comments. But yeah, there's so much. There's so much. You were talking about math and this, and so there's so much. There's so much depth in role playing games. Whatever you play, whatever system, whatever.
I don't know how ridiculous this is, but there will be times when, I used to drive Miatas, and I had this one Miata. I had just bought it. I mean, it was literally the next day, and I'm parked in front of this tobacco store to get my cigars, and a guy, a big, burly guy in a pickup truck comes right in and bangs me in the back bumper, and I got a dent the size of a grapefruit in my brand new car. Well, it wasn't brand new, it was brand new to me.
Yeah.
And instead of losing my temper, I just went, oh God, this is just one more NPC I have to deal with before I get on with my day. That works for me.
Yeah. Another NPC. Here, look at this comment right here. There's a Bert and Ernie meme where Ernie is talking about it's not a roar of the fireball that's so terrifying. It's a silence that follows. Brass, that's hilarious, dude. I'd love to. I got to search for that now. That's funny.
Yeah, you know what they say. Teach a man to build a fire, he'll be warm for a night. Set him on fire, he'll be warm the rest of his life.
Jesus Christ. Bell Marte says we play at work. Of course, it is play testing. I like that. Yeah, we used to. It was at another company. We used to break away and play during lunch hour. Yeah,
I see some scientific barbarian questions. Yes, there'll be more. The one that's late is about to come out, so very shortly here. Issue 6 will be for sale, and I've started issue 7, but I got a couple other Kickstarters that I have to do first. I'm not sure I'm up to editing a whole nother scientific barbarian right now. I have some health issues that I'm dealing with. And thank you for the cryptic concordance is just a freebie PDF. Everybody who backs my scientific barbarian gets that is a sort of concordance of all the monsters and classes and new mutations that have appeared in all the books. And thank you for reminding me. I have to update that with the content for scientific barbarian number 6 before it ships.
Wow.
Which will therefore include a bunch of Thundar the Barbarian monsters, because that's a big chunk of number 6. It's a big article on Thundar the Barbarian.
Flint Fire for says, did someone say therapy? I'm a certified therapy game master. It's a real thing. Yeah, it's and then Agile comes in here and says what I was asking about what he does. Therapeutic GMs working with psychologists to leverage TTRPGs for therapy. Yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. Yeah. D Hickey says AD&D got me interested in geology. Yeah, got me super interested in mythology. The deities and demigods book. I couldn't get enough of the Greek gods.
I mean, you're old enough to have seen the same things I've seen. We were all some kind of nerd in high school I was a Star Trek nerd. So we were all fans of a TV show that was never coming back. We're playing this weird ass game that nobody understands. I fortunately didn't have to worry about the satanic panic because my mom was just glad we were at home at the kitchen table and she knew where we were instead of out, raising hell somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Brass, I'll put the email address to the show here. DM and Friends. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, Drake, I love you because that's exactly right. He says AD&D turned me into an autodidact, and
I
that's
know I was going to bring his
I
comment
was
up.
talking about that. Those of us that have this gaming sensibility of I'll just do it myself. I don't need your gazetteer. I'm going to make this up myself.
Yeah.
Which you can't just do. You have to go learn stuff, teach yourself stuff to go do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, you know, back in the days, you know, well, for me anyways, in 81, 82, 83, 84, I had the books, would get them thrown away. I had a friend that had the books. I would copy them page per page. That's probably why I remember every single thing about them. And then you know, I had to hide that stuff. But there
Oh,
wasn't
did you? That's terrible.
yeah, there wasn't a world that I had to pull from. Everything was right in here. You know what I mean? And so I draw the maps and draw my own world and yeah, that's today. And now I'm strictly a Greyhawk person. So I run all my games in Greyhawk, but back in the days, we didn't have any, everything was just, you had to go out and learn how rivers worked and how mountain ranges kind of related to, where lakes were versus mountains, and you know what I mean. And you know,
Some of it was just being young, because when we got those blank hex books from Judges Guild, each one of us had a world that we were running.
Yeah,
I couldn't wait to just sit there with colored pencils and fill it up.
And fill it out, man.
The more of your continent you had mapped, the bigger deal you were in our group.
You know, back then too, graph paper was gold. Graph paper was gold, and hex paper. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. That was, you know, you get one sheet and I'd have to go and Xerox it. And, yeah. Yeah. That's so funny.
I don't even, I mean, do kids, and to me, you know, you could be in your 30s and you're a kid. I don't mean that in an insulting way, but do kids today even understand why the dungeon maps on the inside of those module covers were that color blue? Because it was you say you Xeroxed it, and we did, but Xerox machines were not common nor particularly small. They would be the size of 2 desks.
Yeah.
And you have to
they were used on
somebody's
the
office
drum
and
machine.
run your copies, and the blue wouldn't photocopy correctly.
I did not know that. Wow. Yeah, so I see a bunch of comments in here on Agile says I'm a therapeutic GM to lots of training worth of time and money. Yeah, that's super awesome, Agile. Dreg says Angelo doesn't do Boot Hill and Greyhawk, but yeah, I do. All my Boot Hill games are in a fictional city, a Wild West Americana city called
Greyhawk
Summit.
Great. Greyhawk is the kind of place where you just go down to the dungeon until you find the door that leads to Boot Hill, and you go that way.
Exactly.
The reason the other way doesn't work is you don't want gunpowder in your D&D game.
Have you ever played a game where you had gunpowder in your? I have.
No, but that's just skinning game mechanics. So, I mean, I told you my brother based his book on based his first campaign on
he meshed everything.
Another Fine Myth. So we had our hands on a D-hopper. You know, forget about gunpowder. We were dimensional travelers going to parallel prime material planes like crazy.
Yeah. Do you think that adding are you? Well, I mean, because I guess that's a dumb question. Because you're a huge Gamma World fan, and
I'm for the genre mix, but you gotta know what you're doing though, because you can break game mechanics up. The reason I'm going to express an opinion here. I think Gamma World, 2 opinions about Gamma World. If Gamma World had gotten the same treatment Dungeons and Dragons got, it would be regarded today as the second best RPG in history. If it had gotten hardback books and all the module support instead of just box set after box set, is my opinion. And I sort of won this argument with Tim when Joe Goodman rolled out MCC. It has gotten all the support that DCC's gotten, or near enough, and continues to be a success. And the other thing,
people love it. MCC, yeah. As a matter of fact, Monday I got Casey coming on here, was talking about a new MCC module that they're doing. But if I'm not, I think I'm correct. Yeah.
Casey,
so, I mean, that's a huge game. I mean, people love it.
Oh, well, my sponsor says I'm supposed to say thank you. Thank you. But the other thing that's particular to Gamma World is the rule game engine match, because D&D is basically just a gang of people who've decided to go underground or go into the wilderness, kill monsters, and take their stuff. And all the mechanics are easily mirrored in Gamma World, as compared to, say, a sci-fi licensed product. You want to do a Star Trek RPG. Who's going to be the captain, and how are we going to make this work? Star Wars is a better match to D&D, because that's still just a gang of troublemakers in a spaceship, right?
Yeah.
Doctor Who RPG, who's going to be the Time Lord? Who's going to be the companion? There's just a lot of things that don't mate as easily or as deftly with D&D, with D20 mechanics, say.
Yeah.
Superhero games are really tough because they're akin to a universal role-playing system.
Yeah.
Because every genre is included in superhero genres. Sorry, I got speechifying there.
No, that's great. Hey, I do want to, usually this part of the show, I want to do something different. And I want to bring this up because I usually have a scroll on the bottom thanking all the members that have pledged their life to the DM and Friends. So I want to bring up a thank you to all you guys that are members to the channel. I think I'm trying this different, but I do want to give a shout out to all of our members. And funny thing here, Jim, the way I did the membership level, we have the heroes, the superheroes, and the lords. So thank you guys all for being members of this channel. I'm going to start bringing this up every live stream, and maybe at the end of every video too. But I do want to thank you guys, and really appreciate you guys so much. Jim, do you see the significance of heroes, superheroes, and lords? What is that?
Am I trivia tested? I mean, that's the that's the 3 kinds of fighters you could be in chainmail and OD&D.
Yeah, yes. What level is that title for fighters? What levels are they? Do you remember?
I'm not super fresh in OD&D rules, so I thought there was just hero and superheroes, which is basically how many hits you could take.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too, but there's also, I guess what I pulled it off of was the titles for a fighter in AD&D. So,
right.
Hero is a level. I mean, and this all went right back to chainmail. You're totally right. But hero is
single most confusing thing I put in MCC, because so did DCC. I put the level titles in, and I get more questions about that from people who are not, who were born after my Holmes dice were manufactured.
How did you that's a great question I'm curious about. Like, how did you come up with the names? How did you make a decision? You're just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to throw this in here, or did you really give it a lot of thought?
And sometimes it's hard. I wrote a class that was in an issue of Scientific Barbarian called the Technomancer, and tried to make them fancy like the Druids, where as you got up certain levels, that you're down to where there's only 8 guys and you have to fight one of them to jump up to that level. And I needed, in effect, I needed 10 or 15 priestly names, and I ran out quick. And I was looking at what Gary did, and I had Jim Ward's Thesaurus and everything, and still going nuts, still bugging Tim on the phone. I need one more name.
Jim Ward's Thesaurus?
Yeah. Got it handy?
Are you talking about this bad boy right here?
Yep, sir. From Mr. Troll Lords himself. That's a handy book to have around.
Dude, there's so much great, because I suck at words. There is so much great information in here. I mean, dangerous chemicals, and there's a whole page on that. From acetone. Oh my God, I can't even pronounce half of these. Yeah, this was really interesting. God, when did this come out? Let me see.
About 10 years ago or so.
Copyright 2015. Yeah, 11 years ago. God, it seems like it might have been even longer, but yeah, 2015. Wow. Yeah. There's so much great info in there. That's funny. I have it right there too. Yeah. Oh man, let's see some of these comments here. Matt. I know you got to get up early. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping on, brother. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Matthew Sherwin. Great dude. Also recently got TPK'd by Stephen Clements in a BX game. So, nah. But anyways, did you play
that's another trick my Magic users learned from playing with Matt Finch. There's only one way to to prevent you being TPK'd, and that's to take the T out of TPK. So you gotta know when to run for it.
Yeah, speaking of TPK, I want to show you this. I know you have a million of these. I have 3 of these actually, but remember when Tim used to give these out?
Oh my God, they're not in arm's reach, but yeah, I have a stack of those, like 4 feet away from me.
You do. This is when he actually gave him, and they had a little, I don't even know what this is called. I have to look into the thesaurus probably. A little clip that you can clip on your and walk around the con with it.
I could be wrong, but I believe Matthew Teets made those and gave them because he gave some to Tim, and he did some that had my cartoon face on them.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it's Matthew Teets.
You drew this, right?
Yeah, it's just laser cut from my art.
Yeah. It's funny because he got so much pleasure because it would say, I went to GaryCon and my party almost got TPK'd by Tim Kask, and when he did TPK us, he loved to pass these out, put them on the table, get his marker, and just put over the almost part.
You have just suddenly reminded me that somewhere in my archives, I have video my brother shot on his iPhone of a Tim Kask game that my brother and sister-in-law are playing in the game. And it was before he was doing the wheel. So it was an actual adventure before he was doing the Wheel of Blame. And the whole party TPK'd or were about to when they ran into a Type 6 demon. They just did something wrong, turned a corner. There's a Type 6 demon, and it was so long ago. Tim was undergoing chemo, so he was, he's not looking good, not feeling great, but he'd manned up and come to the con to run his games anyway. So when the Type 6 demon shows up, he's like, "Well, that's a party wipe, and it's been 3.5 hours, so how about we just call it?" And this obnoxious little player down at the end is going, "No, I didn't pay $1,000 and fly 800 miles to be TPK'd. My paladin can take your Type 6 demon out. I know the rules." And Tim held his temper, just said, "Well, it doesn't work that way." And he goes, "Oh, well, it's my universe, so maybe it does work that way. But if you want to play it out, we'll play it out." And my brother's sitting there with his iPhone. He'd already taken my sister-in-law and Dimension Door to the surface. He was out of there. And my brother caught the whole exchange, and I've got that file somewhere, and I think maybe now I can share it if I can dig it back up.
Oh my God, that would be absolutely amazing. Yeah,
it was just quintessential Tim Kask.
Yeah,
he didn't even get that bothered. He's just like, "Well, it's my universe. I wouldn't be that sure, but okay, we'll play it out."
Yeah, and it ended up in
it was one of those whack you're dead fights.
Yeah. Let's see, Type 6 demon. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah. I
think I'm recalling it correctly. It could have been 5. It was 5 or 6. It was somewhere around there.
It's funny because a lot of so the Type 6 was the Balors. Let's see if I can get it in the right. That's a Type 6. If Type 5,
it must have been the next one down because there were multiple arms involved. Yeah, there it is. Okay,
Type 5 demon. Yeah.
It was still more than a.
Those are nasty. -7 armor class, -5.
Right, like I think his pre-gens were like 7th or 8th level or mixed. You're not taking on a major demon with that party.
Yeah, you're not killing. Yeah,
especially when when it's down to 1 7th level paladin. All right, you might as well just sit down and enjoy the whooping that's coming.
A 7th level paladin against a Type 5 demon. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That'd be a tough battle for sure. Yeah, it's funny. A couple, I don't remember, maybe 10 years back is when he really started going and doing the Wheel of Blame stuff, which I thought was pretty ingenious because you get those of you guys that never played in one of Tim's Wheel of Blame games, he would start with a deck of index cards and pass them out. And you wrote 3 different things on there, and then he would collect them, and then he would shuffle them, and he would go through them one at a time, flip it over, and make a scenario based on, I don't remember if it was 3 different points, or he would, because we would take, anyways, he would make a scenario based on that. The ultimate improv. Just pulled it right out of his DM experience, and great games too. I played several of them.
They were fantastic, and it was improv to a level where I'm not sure I could personally pull that off.
Yeah, that's definitely
because I watched.
Yeah, I don't even know if
it wouldn't just take what's on the card. He would take what's on the card, blow it up D&D size, and give it a major twist. And my brother and sister-in-law were addicted to those games, and he loved my sister-in-law because she would it took her a few goes before she knew not to put hand grenade down or something, because atomic bomb.
You put purple flower on there or something like that. People will put
he's going to twist it, and it's going to be back in your face anyway. Why help?
Yeah, because he wasn't going to make the game easy for you. That's for sure. Yeah.
But he mellowed way out towards the end there. He when I first met him, it's like, 30 minutes in. Well, that's a TPK. I'm hungry. Who wants a taco? Who wants to go get tacos?
That's it. You guys made
But he mellowed out a little bit from those days.
He was a tough DM, that's for sure. He believed in putting the best after the players.
My last magic user in his campaign is still imprisoned in a crystalline pillar somewhere in one of his dungeons. He didn't get out.
And you're never going to know.
Now I won't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a little bit, because you mentioned Boot Hill, kind of back in the early days when you were playing, early on. It was Boot Hill, Gamma World, and D&D that you guys were really kind of back and forth on college. Did you guys played a lot of Boot Hill?
No, not a lot. What happened was we got very quickly in the habit of just buying. Their marketing department would love to hear this. Like from 79 up through the mid 80s, we would just buy whatever TSR published. And then I happened to stumble across Champions and went, okay, this is my deal. So I ran Champions for years. I ran Gamma World for forever. My brother ran AD&D, but things like Boot Hill and Gangbusters would just last 2 or 3 sessions. I think we got a few months out of Star Frontiers.
Yeah, that's right. Champions was the other one you talked about. Yeah. You really like I mean, it sounded like you
well, you could tell. I mean, if I ever get it done, it's called Mega Heroes. I've got a superhero RPG half written that I got ridiculously over ambitious and decided I'm going to crack all the problems that superhero games have always had, and ended up cracking maybe half or 2/3, and then hitting the same wall everybody hits. So I'm just not as clever as I thought I am, but I'll get it finished one of these days.
Yeah. What's the wall? What do you mean, if you don't mind saying? What did you kind of see as a wall?
I think it's probably endemic to how my brain's wired. What I really need is to sit down and do a bunch of spreadsheets, because I invented a new game engine. I personally don't think D20 is an especially good fit for superhero games. And although I was a big Champions fan back in the day, my taste run the opposite direction now. I want something simple and fast.
Yeah. That's why I think a lot of people are switching. A lot of people are switching to like BX as far as on the D&D side. There's a big kind of uprising of I don't know if that's the right word, uprising. I don't know, of because it's fast. It's boom, 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 boom. And you can house rule it too, to where if you want to get crunchy, or it's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a huge Boot Hill fan. So that's probably one of my other favorite old TSR, systems. Love it. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, and I own Aces and Eights, but I've never played it.
Yeah. What other? So out of Champions, what did you like the most out of it? Just the genre? What kind of?
Well, as I started working on Mega Heroes, I discovered I had a misperception. I just assumed that the Venn diagram overlap between gamers and comic books was high, and it's not.
Yeah.
There's a substantial overlap, but it's not universal by any means. But I grew up a Marvel Comics guy, so I was all, a superhero game. The very first edition, to us, it was the first one. There might have been another superhero game out there. I've since collected them, and there are a bunch of they're just little stapled booklets, superhero 2044 or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But just the idea to be able to play, because my campaign was a whole simulacrum of the Marvel Comics universe.
Sure.
But then
yeah.
I should have known from the start about the Venn diagram overlap, because our home group back then was just my brother and his friends and my friends, and amongst those people there weren't any comic book guys at all. So they did the common thing where they're rolling up, Space Dwarf and Dr. Paladin. They're just doing the same thing that me and my players did with Boot Hill. They're just trying to turn it into D&D.
Okay.
Either that or the really typical thing where they show up going, I want to play the Hulk, or I want to play Wolverine. Well, yeah, no.
Yeah. That was really big in the early Dragons too. Was I think almost, especially early. I don't know if it was the early on issues, but they had the section where it was the Marvel section in the Dragon magazines that they go through all these different characters. Yeah, that was the.
We were just
cool.
young. At the age we were when Champions came out, you couldn't make a rule system too crunchy for us, and if it took a shoebox of D6s and 4 hours to do 5 minutes of combat, back then we didn't care.
Yeah, very fun. Did you ever get into any of the ice products?
Not me personally. No.
Yeah, that when talking about crunchy.
Even then I would buy games based on the license sometimes, not necessarily that I ever intended to run it. Like Palladium, I was never a Rifts player, but I bought the hell out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including the little lead minis.
Wow. Yeah.
And never played it. Painted the minis and didn't play it. I don't know what that means, but
there's a couple. I think
the hero system itself, I'm not banging on it because it's a perfectly good system. I'm just not up to all that math at this age.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it.
Well, do you remember Champions? By the time you compete, there wasn't just armor class. There was, special defenses, special attacks, and it was like playing Magic the Gathering is today.
Yeah.
No, you don't. I do this back. I prevent you from doing that back. It was that kind of system.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I felt like there was a lot of variables too. A lot of a lot of counters, I guess, is what you're trying to say. You have a great game though. If you like the superhero genre, that was.
I read it for years from the original little stapled saddle stitch book up through that 4th edition big thick hardback book that was beautiful but fell apart quickly.
Yeah. Well, Jim.
Sorry, I wore you out.
What's that?
I wore out my welcome, haven't I?
Oh no. I was going to ask you about cons. So, what's where are you appearing? Where are you showing up at?
Sadly, right now I'm retired from the road, so nowhere. This was the first Gary Con I missed, and likewise Wizard Con and Gamehole Con. And actually, I signed up to be a guest at North Texas Con last year, and then had to back out at the last minute.
Yeah.
And not to get all into it, it's nothing life threatening, at least now it's not. But I had some old man problems, and we're working them out with a doctor. I'm on the mend, which is why Scientific Barbarian 6 is finally coming out. But I'm not up to a bunch of flying and traveling.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, North Texas, if you drove, it's to be a trek. I'm actually driving. I'm in Montana, and so I'm driving from Montana.
Holy cow!
23 hours, so 2 stops.
In my younger days, I was a road hog just like that. But to me, that's amazing because Diesel does that crap. Diesel LaForce lives in Texas and will drive his truck and his booth up to Wisconsin.
Yeah. The only reason why I'm driving is because back here, if you can see, this is my part of my Boot Hill setup, and I run Boot Hill religiously at North
Oh,
Texas.
look at that.
Yeah. So, so I bring all that with me. So I actually last year, I'm like, okay, I broke everything down, packed it up, and put it in and surprisingly, most of it made it through TSA. But I'm not going to do that again, because when you start taking down buildings that are, MDF, they don't come back together after 50 times doing it. So just going to take a week off and drive down there and I have relatives that live very close to there. So I'm going to hang out with them for a couple days too. And then, go to the con. I don't miss North Texas. That's my favorite. And I've said it on the show a million times. It is my favorite by all means, or number one con that I love going to.
Me too.
Yeah,
I mean that, and it's because of the way they run the con and their decision to keep it the same size all these years. Because 12 years ago, there was like a triple crown of old school gaming conventions, and it was Gary Con, Gamehole Con, and North Texas Con. But Gary Con has blown up as big as it can get and stay in Lake Geneva, which it's never going to leave. And Gamehole Con is on a growth spurt where 10 years from now, they're going to be Gen Con size.
Yeah.
And they've got all the room in the world.
They're going to blow away their venue.
But meanwhile, until Doug Ray passed, and then after that with Gary and Bad Mike, they've made a commitment to keep it small. And it's just great to be at a con. Who doesn't want to go to a con that's tailored to your age group and your likes, and the number of special guests, of which I've been privileged to be a few times, but not every time. It's like 1/3 of the con attendees are the special guests.
Yeah.
So you don't just go to North Texas Con to play in an Arrow Lotus game. You'll be playing in a Michael Curtis game, and there's Arrow Lotus playing the halfling right next to you.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. I don't know. That doesn't happen at Gary Con.
Yeah, there's I've tried to put my finger on why I like that con so much, and there you've hit a lot of the points. It's just the perfect size, the perfect location, the perfect people, the perfect everything. And
you can get around and see everybody at Gary Con. Cincinnati gamers I know and am friends with will come, and I don't see them.
Yeah. When I don't know, I hate to say this, but when people started getting locked behind doors. And at Gary Con, it's kind of I remember when it was small at the lots where everybody was in the.
Oh, you mean like
room.
the fancy Hollywood special guest things? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I hate to say it.
That's fair, and it doesn't exactly wouldn't be my decision, but I understand what's going on, and that's
Yeah. Too big for me. So there is a question for you from Advanced Fantasy Games. And he says, I'm curious to hear about personalities in their game collections. I'm actually curious to hear this from you, Jim. What one item is in Jim's collection is he most proud of?
I am a broke RPG designer, so I am not a deep pockets collector, and I frequently hit hard times and sell stuff like my little brown Boot Hill box. Not the box set, but the one before that. I sold that a long time ago. What?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, I had one of them. This is very dear to my heart because I played my very first Magic user had the acid cloud spell out of here. But
hold that bad boy up. I'm gonna bring it up so everybody can see. Yeah,
but this is nothing, and you could go get one of these on eBay for $30-$40 easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. The single thing I consider the most valuable is I have a enormous collection of Grenadier Gamma World miniatures.
Wow.
And although I can't sell them, I had molds. I'm also just worked down the street from Ironwind Metals. I had molds made of some of them because for a few years I was handing out recast as just a little swag at the game table because that's my understanding. As long as I don't sell them and I'm just giving them away, I can probably do that. I actually contacted that guy in Italy with the company. I don't remember his name, but Merleton, and tried to buy the Game World molds from him, and he ain't selling them.
So you would get an actual old school fig and then get the mold, have them remold it and then recast. Is that what you did?
Yeah, I shouldn't be telling people how to do that, I guess, because there are pirates. Well, the difference is there are pirates on eBay.
Yeah.
that sell unlicensed and unauthorized figures,
Yeah.
and somebody owns the molds and owns the right to that. I never do that. I absolutely don't do that. And I got off on a tangent anyway. My pride and joy is the miniatures themselves, because outside the 2 box sets that everybody got, those blister packs had all kinds of stuff in them that are interesting. Like the blister pack, the Game World blister pack will be labeled Tribesman or something, but you bust it open and it's a bunch of Barsoomian yellow Martian sculpts because Grenadier did those to try and get the license and then didn't get the license. Heritage got it,
Yeah.
And I just, you imprint on what you imprint on. That big-headed kind of cartoony thing. Tim and I used to argue about that because Tim was a Raul Partha guy. He liked Tom Myers' much more correctly proportioned miniatures, and those are beautiful too. But I always liked the more cartoony old Grenadiers.
Yeah. Guy, you talk about blister packs. I back there in the brown thing I'll point my finger to it. I have some blister packs for that are unopened too for gangbusters. And
I've never even seen a Gangbusters blister pack. I didn't know there were. Oh, no, I don't remember those. I remember when TSR started doing their own D&D minis and the Marvel superhero ones.
All right, excuse me while I go find them. Yeah, these guys right here, and I have so many of them, and I don't. Yeah.
Oh, right. In my brain, I was visualizing the branding of the Gangbusters game set, and I forgot they didn't do it like that.
Yeah,
I do.
So these are So these are the 3-figure, the 3-figure, and it was really kind of cool. If you remember, they came with a little
scenario.
kind of a little kind of, I don't know, a tile, I guess, early version of a paper tile for different rooms and stuff. Yeah. God, look at this. We're
showing off our game collections. We're getting
now. Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Here's police. Yeah, the police. These are the gangsters I just showed you. Here's some police figures. Yeah, these guys right here. Yeah. I loved Gangbusters. I don't know if you got a chance to play a lot of it.
I don't have any of my Galactosculpts in arm's reach, but I'll tell you, I'm a maniac. I just do things because I do them. I don't sometimes. There is my sculpt of the Lost in Space Jupiter 2.
Hold it to your, there you go. Oh, wow. Nice.
The Space Chariot.
Yeah.
And a 2-scale Cyclops.
Holy dude, that is awesome. Do you do a lot of painting?
Not anymore, because I don't really have that. To paint a miniature now, I'd need like Mole Man jewelers.
Yeah. It's funny. I just got back into painting and I've like gone nuts. Gone absolute nuts.
I'm about to, because when I do that Galactic Kickstarter, I sure don't have the bucks to pay somebody else to do it, so I'll have to paint those minis all up.
Yeah, see, I'm almost ashamed. This is an unopened box of.
Oh man, I am such a hoarder. In my living room, I have entire shelves of those particular boxes, not the blister packs you have in them, but I just got them from from Iron Wind. Back in the day, we did do some Galacta blister packs.
Yeah,
and I still have a bunch. Not the originals, the 2008 casting versions. The guy that owns them cast for me.
Let me run over to the comments here. Vladimir Cleaver, almost as bad as traveling coast to coast. We played Rollmaster. We just kept drifting back to D&D. Yep. Dihiki says, yeah, so much material for D&D. Add your own crit table if you want. Mark the Shark says, so I'm going to go to North Texas. I'll be spoiled. Yeah. Mark the Shark says, so I'm going to go to North Texas and be spoiled on all other cons. I kind of was, dude, to be honest with you. It's a tough one. North Texas is one of those cons that to me, nothing compares to it, man. It's just got that sweet spot. It's like
as long as you understand that what's what's groovy about it is the scale. You can get around the entire con and have a chance to be with everyone who's there.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody is
if you're
super
going, so there's
approachable.
some gigantic dealer area. There's not. There's a decent dealer area with some really, like, you could find a white box to buy.
Yeah.
Pop up, that kind of stuff.
See, yeah. See, so for me, I don't need a huge, giant floor of deal. There's enough of everything that you want at that con. As far as the dealer room, to me, is perfect size, perfect size.
And
What
there's
I
an
really like
auction.
is, and the auction's awesome too.
Yeah. Well, there's a regular auction that Jim Kit, the unavoidable, or what does Thanos say? He's inevitable. The inevitable Jim Kitchen runs the main auction, and it's great. And the deep pocket, the deep pocket collectors show up, and they'll have stuff for the deep pocket collectors. But nothing beats the midnight auction with Bad Mike.
Yeah, that's an experience that you have to check out. It's a lot of fun, guys. I definitely, I'll be there. I love it. I'm not going to talk about what the midnight auction is about. We're not supposed to. You got to go and experience it.
Oh, was I not supposed to say?
No. I mean, the things that happen there, I guess.
I feel like that Rob Battalato will make a streaking attempt in his speedo. There's important information to have in advance, so to show up with your eye bleach ready to go.
Yeah. Let me go to there's a couple super chats in here. I want to say, Agile says, go Ralph Parkland. Mr. Kask was an awesome man. So we're worried we lost him. Yeah, that is true. It's pretty heavy. Pretty. Oh God, I don't know how to say anything. Flint Fireforge says, gotta run. Great show. Jim Wampler is a great guest. Oh, Jim, but thank you so much for the super chat. And you are right. I've been looking forward to having Jim on for some time, and I'm really blessed and honored that you're here.
I feel like we're doing pretty good because it's been an hour and 45 minutes, and
I know,
and I haven't gotten myself in trouble or cursed egregiously yet.
I know. And then Inner City Games. You know who this is? Inner City Games Design. This is Chris Clark. He says, Jim Freaking with the EEK Wampler. That's Chris Clark said that.
I mean, Chris lives in Wisconsin and I live in Cincinnati, and we just saw each other 2 days ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was telling me that. Yeah. Jensen says he's got to go too. So, great show tonight, as always. Thank you, dude. And that's an L. I always thought I was an I, but it's I'm sorry, it's an I instead of an L. I still don't know how to pronounce your name correctly, but I think it's Eginsium. But he says, gotta go. Thanks, dude, so much for the super chat, and I appreciate you being on here. You're always on here, and I appreciate it, man. Super cool.
Maybe it's Japanese and he's Imijasan.
It is, which I'm not. I'm Italian. I'm not good at pronouncing stuff. So yeah. Unless it's spaghetti and lasagna and tortellini and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is an I. Yep, he says. Yep. Chris says, keep Jim up all night. So yeah, he hasn't gotten in trouble yet, Chris. We did talk about the disclaimers on the show before you get on. I said, Jim, we don't talk about politics, and we don't curse. He's like, oh, fuck. which I shouldn't have said that. Because he kind of did.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, if you say it, you gotta own it.
I try not to here on the show, just to keep it, classy, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. But he just says, "Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?"
Oh, I was gonna say I'm a completely, mild pseudo intellectual, but we were talking about getting sober. I got sober with some, bikers and stuff. So
did you?
Yeah.
That's funny because I did too in California, and I ended up, because I don't know if I could say this. Maybe I shouldn't, but as you go on, you kind of help other men in their journey, and I was doing that with a couple guys that were in some very big biker gangs out there in the California area. It is man, Yeah, it's funny. You
that
said
disease does not discriminate. So
it does not at all. I
it'll
was
be
in
a
there.
corporate CEO and an attorney and then a biker and a nurse and somebody's mom and
Yeah. It's super crazy. You hit it right on the money because those three possession.
it's like cancer. Cancer doesn't care who you are.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Best. I will say this, and that you brought it up here. Best decision I made in my life. Best decision that I was kind of forced into making, which I was at a point in my life where I was at a point where that was the only way.
Oh, you mean knocking it off? I thought you meant you were forced to have me on as a guest.
Oh no.
Like Chris bribed you or something.
Yeah. Chris says do it or else, or he's gonna come on here and say some things about us that we will. Yeah. No. I just I appreciate you talking about that because I think that, and you're open about where you're at in life with that.
Well, I try to be open about it in the correct way, which is just
we don't need to get into the depth details and stuff like that, but
just generally pay it forward is just a good way to live.
Good model.
It'll keep you out of trouble, and I definitely needed that.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, when Tim and I met, I was 19 or 20. I was as obnoxious as they came. It got to people will always ask, I re-met Tim around 2010 when I was at an author event at a game store because of Marvin the Mage or something. And he just happened to walk in and we hadn't seen each other in years, but we met back when he moved down here. Like I said, all that stuff of us coming in and cold calling him in his office to publish our stuff, he didn't remember any of it. So we're and he's a big deal to me. I was nothing to him.
Yeah.
In 2010. So I'm going through my memories trying to get a lock on so he'll remember me. And I'm finally like, remember CincyCon 82, the Ace of Aces tournament? He goes, oh yeah, I was in that tournament. I'm like, I was the guy that knocked you out of the tournament. It was, what? You were that little puke? And then he got mad. He's like, I don't want you ever telling that story. I only ever beat in 40 years. I only ever beat the man twice at a board game, but he didn't take it well.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
I dropped a nuclear bomb on his ship in the Great Charlie Blackburn's The Great Space Race, Kensert Company. He comes flying by me. I managed to land a nuke right on him, and let me tell you, the dust came off the ceiling tiles in his basement.
You serious?
Yeah. He was mad.
Let me see. I got a question for you. Oh wow, here we go. Harmon Ward is here. What good buddy of mine, HMGS guy on the Pacific. He says thanks for remembering Tim Kask. Yeah, that's I'll tell you a little bit offline. Harmon, thanks for jumping on, man. Good to see you. I got to get you on the show sometime, Harmon. We got to talk some HMGF stuff. And Inner City Game says, Jim, you are a big deal. Yeah.
A legend in my own mind.
Yeah. Well, what's up for you I mean, you're talking about kind of wrapping up some of these Kickstarters. Are you, well, let me come back. Do you get the opportunity to game anymore? Like you kind of,
I could, and I'm going to get back to it, but I it's not like I'm housebound or anything like that. But
I'm not insinuating that. I'm just saying that it's tough to kind of get a group going, and and kind of life happens. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not up to running a campaign right now, and it takes a special group for me to just be able to show up as a player. I don't exactly even know what I mean. So yeah, I mean the guy that ran our game store where we play tested MCC, he's back with a new game store, and I could go out there and game with him and every time. And as soon as I get good and back up on my feet, I will. But no, not lately.
Yeah. Inner City Games design. That's Chris. He says get him to play in our Wednesday game. It's an online.
That's right. That's right. He was trying to sell me on Lance, and I'm my sweet spot is having high level spells and a Mark IV blaster rifle. But if I could just get the blaster rifle, I'll be good.
Yeah, he's talking about our Greyhawk game on Wednesdays that we have.
Oh, Greyhawk.
Yeah, that I've been running for 15 years now. I don't know. Chris joined it. I don't know. Let me see. Chris, how long have you been Terrior, the cleric of St. Cuthbert in our campaign? I don't know. He's probably 4 or 5 years into it now. 4 years. Yeah.
Is that who he's patron to?
Yes. Yeah. Chris
That's
Clark
awesome.
is. Yeah. So, Chris, if you want to jump on here and hound Jim, let me know and I'll give you the link. Yeah. So you did a lot of play testing at that. Is it a local store that you're talking about?
Yeah. That's the guy I was referring to earlier, Todd Bunn, who I initially met just because I was system shopping, and we just started Gygax magazine, and I went out there to interview him about that campaign I was telling you about, where they ran through all the editions. That's how I met Todd, and him and his new store that's not the same as the one where we play test MCC. He's running it, and they still do the same stuff. They've got a gaming room in the new place too. It's on the other side of town, and I will get back out there and game eventually. But right now, I part of the side effects of what I'm going through is a lot of body fatigue and brain fog.
Oh, yeah.
So the juice I got right now has to go to getting my Kickstarter fulfilled and showing up for my day job, paying the bills. It's the come on, this. Everybody knows this. You start with I know what, I'll get into the game industry and then I'll game all the time. And then what happens?
You don't.
You start, editing and writing and managing artists and getting books out and shipping product and if you, and it's bad. It's always bad because what you've done is you've turned the faucet off. Oh my God.
Look at this guy. He begged. He says he really wanted to talk to you and he was getting tired of typing because he's just not used to typing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Clark to hound our special guest Jim here.
I did kind of want to, yeah, a little bit. He did me this huge favor last week, so and signed a whole bunch of books that he wrote. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but you kind of had
you saw him this last weekend, I think, right? You guys were out. I don't remember. Was it in Cincinnati?
The days have become a blur. Actually, yeah. So much running around, and I don't know. Lots of people that aren't getting entirely what they want, and so they're upset. And
Chris, are you familiar with the adventure I wrote for Metamorphosis Alpha called The Captain's Table?
It rings a bell.
I bring it up because that entire adventure module I wrote for Goodman Games was to win a bet with Tim.
Oh no!
And I bring it up because I happen to know one of the many things Chris and I have in common are being diehard Red Dwarf fans.
Oh yes.
Tim and I used to trade DVDs and Blu-rays back and forth, and he was in the middle of being on a Monty Python tear, and I'm like, well, if you like British humor, here, try this. And I hand him my stack of Red Dwarf DVDs, and he got through season 1 and started season 2 and gave them back. He's like, I don't like it. It's just my cup of tea. And we get talking, and he went off on a tangent that was published somewhere. I can't remember where he's talking about certain sci-fi licenses and genres are not appropriate for role-playing games and just wouldn't work. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They did a whole role-playing game based on Red Dwarf. And
wasn't it Todd Downey?
To win the bet, I got that gig to write my first Metamorphosis Alpha adventure at Goodman Games, and I based the entire thing on Red Dwarf. All the action takes place in the cargo deck, right? And what do you run into in the cargo deck right away? Sapient cats. And
I read through it because I asked for people to send in all the material that had been done on the Warden when we were writing it up, so that I could incorporate it, not reprint it, but make sure that it had a spot in the Warden that we did, so that it would not be invalidated for canon or whatever they want to call it. And I remember reading it. Yes. It was good. By the way,
but the premise was just to win a bet with Tim. How ridiculous is that?
Oh, it's a bitter and spiky pill you make me take today, Mr. Wampler. Yes.
Let me bring this up from the chat. Agile Monk did a super chat for thank you so much, man. He says Jim Wampler is a legend of the hobby. Met him many years ago under my real name. Yes. Thank you so much, dude. And yeah, you wouldn't probably have known him by Agile Monk. He's known by another name, which I will not repeat here. So
because then he'd have to kill you. Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
Then Agile would kill me.
I mean, depending on how long ago that was, I didn't do it. Nobody saw me. No one can prove a
Yeah.
thing.
Jim and I did not get to be terribly close friends, which I feel we are, until he spent 20 minutes in my kitchen because he expected to spend more like an hour in my kitchen.
Yeah.
You don't remember that? I was out on my back in the driveway.
I remember when I had already told the story before you got here about how Mike Curtis and I screwed up the starter in Tim's Jeep, and in like 14-degree weather, you were out there in your driveway putting a new starter in Tim's car in your t-shirt sleeves.
It wasn't that cold.
There was that time. Then the one and only time we drove my car because I'd just gotten it and I didn't know how bad a passenger Tim was. We came up to Gamehole Con and my brand new car battery died, and you put a new battery in it.
But no, I know you don't remember that. That's what I thought was funny during that trip, and why I vowed to get to know you better was because I came in after about 20 minutes, and you're like, "You're done." Why does my mechanic charge me $140 for a task like that if you're done?
I'm good at a lot of things, Chris, but I'm worthless at auto repair.
Oh,
in fact, just last year, that battery you stuck in the Tiquan finally gave ground, and I had to go get a new one. And I was at work just bitching up a storm about I just put that battery in, and people that understood auto maintenance is like, well, how long ago was that? And I did the math and went, it was about 8 or 9 years ago. And they're like, you got 8 or 9 years out of a car battery.
Yeah.
Great. Shut up.
Anyway. And no, it's just that your talents are wasted on something as simple as a car, Jim. That's all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like asking Einstein, to build a fire in the fireplace because what the hell, he's Einstein. No. You don't need Einstein for a fire in the fireplace.
Oh, man, cut it out.
Cut it out.
Don't force me to show up on one of your interviews and do this.
Well, I'm on with this guy whenever I can be. Most of the time, he's like, "No, stay off. Come on, you're terrible. Just stay home."
Yeah, I knew you were going to harass him, so that's why I'm like, no.
Well, I would have been sooner, but some of us fell asleep on the couch again because some others of us that from Hawaii kept me up until like 4 a.m. So
yeah.
And I'm Chris's real life friend because I once shared a hotel room with him at Gary Con, and let me tell the world, Chris Clark snores like an air raid siren. I mean, there were cars in the parking lot where the alarm was going off. Dogs the next county over in Wisconsin were barking. It was an arms treaty. His snoring was an arms treaty violation.
Yeah, jealous chainsaws called and said, "Hey, that's our gigs. Cut it out over there." All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about nerd stuff? Because they're talking in the chat. They're talking about cool stuff like Babylon 5.
Yeah, Babylon 5
and Serenity.
Yeah. See, I like B5 and Serenity. It's Serenity more than B5, but for its time, B5 was very groundbreaking. I thought it was actually
Serenity and Red Dwarf. I will pay for 1 month the BritBox once a year annually. I do a binge watch of all of Red Dwarf, and I just
wow.
Last week did the same thing with Serenity. Serenity's on one of the channels, Disney or Hulu, and I just went all through Serenity or Firefly and then the movie.
Dude, I love, well, so two things. I want to ask you about the RPG for Firefly, but man, that is one of my favorite series. And they just announced that they're going to be doing an animated series for it, which I would have liked to see them do a live action, to be honest with you, with the same cast and crew and all that. I loved the Serenity Firefly series and the movie too, that kind of pulled into it.
I think they're smart to do it animated because for two reasons. Everybody's gotten older. Well, in a cartoon, you live forever.
Yeah, that's true.
And they can bring back. They announced they were going to recast Shepherd Book, and they can bring back what's his name that's in that TV show Alien Resident.
Yeah, she doesn't look like that anymore, bud.
Oh my goodness,
she's still cute. She's still cute, but she's not quite that cute anymore. And you know, I'll say this though too. What women don't realize and what made her so sexy was not that she was so sexy per se, but that she was
a
capable.
gearhead.
Oh my
She was a
God, was she
gearhead.
capable? You could not throw her a curveball that she couldn't hit. And that, you know, if you're out there and you're female, men actually find capable women very sexy. It's okay to say out loud. It's all right. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's a. Yeah, there's so many things about her in the show that I love.
Yes.
Bottom line, I mean, just the gearhead portion too, and and the innocence and the just everything. That was a great character.
I think I watched 5 or 6 seasons of that TV show Suits just because Gina Torres was in it.
I've never. Yeah. Jeanette Buffington just did a super chat saying, just subscribe to your channel. I'm wife of Tennessee Tabletop Tavern. All right. Thank you so much. Very, very cool. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the super chat. And
hello from Tennessee, because that's where my family's from.
Yeah.
Pretty country. Love Tennessee.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Awesome.
There were there's a good question. Let's see if let me get the answer wrong first, Chris, and then you can jump in. How many seasons were there of Red Dwarf? I'm gonna say 13.
Well, I don't think there were quite that many. Full seasons, I think there were 9. And then they did a season of like 2 or 3 episodes and a season of 2 or 3 episodes. And then like 5 years later, they did that one where they're all at the convention. If you remember. And
Lister ran into his actor on the set of Coronation Street. That's the one you mean.
Yes. And I think if you count those in, it might come to 13. But regular seasons, I thought they just had 9. Now, I can be wrong.
Let me Google that really quick.
Mark's only loves me enough that she bought me
well, there was a bunch of back and forth. So it was like editions of Gamworld. People will say the 4th edition, and then they don't know all the editions, so they're counting wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So looking at Google, it says one special. There were 12 seasons.
Oh, so I was off by 1.
Yeah.
You win.
And the miniseries.
Yeah, you win. Yeah, and the miniseries will be 13. Yeah.
Wow.
But I think what they did is the last couple of seasons they shortened up the number of episodes, is what it was.
Well, that's another group of actors that, as much as I adore, are also all our age and therefore getting really up there. Really up there. But the very last one that was basically just a TV movie with all the race of the cat people coming back, that was really funny. It's good, I thought.
Oh, I just got snubbed by Tutankhamun's honey grandmother. You know, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. That was season 7, I think. 7 or 8. Yeah.
Tabletop Tavern says, I still want to see a video on your gaming table on how you made it. Yeah, I'm actually was going to do it behind the scenes and show the table. I did build this. Yeah, even though I'm not probably as good as Chris Clark is at building things.
Do you do anything nuts like run that game online and put a little webcam down on the table in the middle of the train?
Chris, do I do that?
He does that on occasion.
That's awesome.
He also has an overhead camera, so he can do like helicopter shots, but without the extreme expense.
I only bring it up because everybody, everybody's obsessed with the virtual D20 tabletop.
I absolutely hate that. And
whatever it is. I'm so old school. Skype would work for me. I just need your voice. And for you to be honest with your dice rolls, because I'm not going to use automatic dice rolls. If I don't trust you, you don't deserve to be at my table. But Matt Finch used to run his Swords of Jordoba campaign like that. He literally built the dungeon train up and moved a little tiny webcam down through as we regressed through his dungeon. It was awesome.
Somebody
I like my 3D.
Yeah, for me, I'll bring up a battle map and share it on the screen sometimes. Like, I don't like mapping for the players. I'm very like, we're at the table when I run my Wednesday game. I kind of despise Roll20 and all that stuff. And, there's people that like it. For me, it doesn't work. So,
Brass Monkey, you're thinking of Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Also a classic film of our time, but yes.
Yeah. First ones are the only ones I bother with. Let me see. Hasbro, some of the truth of the rest. Took the original stuff. Okay. Galaxy Quest. Yep. Greg, you're right. Yep, you're right. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, Greg. Never give up. Never surrender.
Never surrender. You know, the show that I don't know what you guys have been watching recently, but somebody turned me on, and I will not mention her name here right now, not her real name anyways. Turned me on to a show called From. Have you guys seen that?
I saw the first.
What's it called? I didn't hear you.
From, F-R-O-M.
No, I never even heard of it.
It's the premise of the show is people end up at this place at various times. They just kind of been showing up, and there's this evil. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's this thing going on there, but they're trapped in this like dimension world, and it's super crazy. I
watched the first season, but that's all we got for free on Amazon.
Got it. Okay, yeah, I've just finished the first season last night. Yeah, super.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Crazy. Yeah, it was pretty good. It had a very weird twist on what's happening.
Did you watch Evil when it was out too?
No.
Evil is a Netflix one, if I remember correctly, but really well done. You don't have to be Catholic to watch it. I think helps, but and really it gives Mars nightmares now, and we haven't watched it for 2 years.
Wow.
But and funny thing is, Heidi is the one who actually turned me on to that one. So
this is exactly why I don't enjoy living in this culture of where it's cool to hate on everything and blame everything, because we live in an embarrassment of riches. I haven't heard anything about either of those two shows, but that's just because I'm over here watching my nerdy crap. I'm heavy into For All Mankind, the alternative history show about the space program, and just finished up Star Wars Maul, the best Darth Vader laser sword fight I've ever seen. And Daredevil Born Again season finale was just this week, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that show From, and matter of fact, how I found out was from one of our biggest supporters of the channel, Blur, told me and turned me on to the show From, and it is, yes, it's on MGM Plus, even though I don't watch it on MGM Plus because I'm an IT guy, and yeah. Anyways, but maybe I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, great.
Because I didn't want to hear it from Chris. That's specifically why I didn't include that For All Mankind is only on Apple Plus.
No, it's everywhere. If you know how to get things, you can get it. Sorry. And no Advanced Fantasy Games. It is not a goth show. Even though I would say that the show is pretty good, but that would make it even better.
There was
goth girls on there.
There are two minor actors that are goth that live up at the what is that, the commune. Two of the characters in the commune are goth. Yes. It's a girl.
I guess I better open my eyes when I watch the show then.
Yeah, they're always in the background making out, but yeah.
Well, I wrote it down, the From one.
You should check it out. I think if you have, I think the first season's on. Yeah, we'll see if you get hooked on it. Yeah, pretty good.
JJ.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Baby.
Yeah, and I know what you mean by, well, it may be on Apple Plus, but I just I don't necessarily endorse, at least publicly, things that I used to do, like use a VPN to watch Doctor Who 2 hours early as it's broadcast in the UK.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let me see here. What is Jalom saying here? By Grandma's hammer you shall be avenged. Okay, now I get it. Now that I read it, I understand.
And it's
I'm slow compared to you guys. I'm very slow. So yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to say that out loud, but I was going to wait and do it behind your back. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
and I think it's Grapthar. I don't think it's Grabthar. I think it's with a P.
Yeah. Little fun announcement. Yes, as Blair, as the new moderator, I figured I should throw my weight around some. What? I'll be dropping a short soon, courtesy of Angelo, for a refresher on community guidelines and etiquette. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Blair.
And
apparently we have stepped over some lines and need
and
to
Blair is
straighten
Hey,
up the rule.
Jim, you're in trouble. Chris has always been in trouble. Chris, Jim, you
Well,
are almost now in trouble. No.
Blair is always is so thin and fit. I don't see what weight she feels she has to throw around. But
Exactly.
um,
Yeah. So did we were talking a little bit, Chris, about some of the how Jim got into gaming and the systems that he started with and played with in college and all that. Did you ever mess with Gamma World?
I played a couple times, but with just our local GM, whose name was Charles Lewis.
Yeah.
He was not. I'm sorry if you hear this, Charlie. He was not a particularly great GM, so that's part of it. But I never really got into it. Versus, we never really played Met Alpha per se, because we did, and it was like, there's no character advancement in this game. I don't think I like it. So we used it all the time for source material. Oh my goodness. And we used all the mutation charts and all of that good stuff. So everything but the absolute core mechanic, we would borrow from Met Alpha, and we would basically play with like the advancement charts from just regular first edition on on getting your character. And I forget, I think it was that our GM said you get to add a point to a stat if you
that's how Gamma World didn't have experience levels, but
yeah.
You did hit breakpoints where you would up your stats,
yes,
and so forth. But you were born with all the hit points you were ever going to have. So
right, and
you better go get some tech as soon as you can.
Well, and that was the thing. That was the only advancement in Met Alpha was tech advancement. So yeah, once you had the plasma rifle, where do you go? Where do you go from there? Really,
That's a question I get frequently about MCC. Is people will read the game but haven't played it yet, and common feedback I will get is that the MCC shaman isn't anywhere near as good to play or as powerful as a DCC wizard. Well, spellcasting wise, absolutely restricted because they have a patron AI that only gives them so many and such level spells. But they're also pure straight humans, and if you are smart enough to be a shaman, you've got the best artifact check in the game. So that shaman, once he's got, what did I just say my sweet spot was? A fireball and a Mark 7 blaster.
Yeah.
That's where you're headed. That's where you're headed. By the time you're armed up as an MCC shaman, you're a TPK killer. You kill the TPKs.
Yeah. Well, and see, and now in the Lance game that I'm trying to get you to try in Dallas, you have skill advancement, stat advancement, tech advancement, and believe it or not, overall reputational advancement. It gets easier to work with people who have more power the more reputation you acquire. Because nobody loves a power curve like a gamer. All gamers live for the power curve. Are you kidding me? Of course they do.
I actually enjoy starting out as a first level AD&D magic user.
Oh, I love it.
That is its own challenge, because for a couple of levels there, you just don't want to step on an acorn and die.
Well, and not to throw stones at what's the game I'm thinking of? My character could kill your planet. Torg. Yes. Okay. The advancement there is too fast. You don't feel like you've earned it, and it doesn't have any substance to it. There's no thrill of advancing to a level in any category unless you have earned it. So yeah, that's what's great about playing first level characters is by the time you're fourth level, you're like, I'm doing great because I've earned it. Yeah. Well, personal, opinion. Take it as such. But we're losing Angelo. He's starting to wander.
You're talking about one of many ways players begin to feel like they have a stake in the game.
Yes.
Player agency is an undervalued aspect to a lot of what we do.
Well, 3.5 I think proved you can go too far the other way though. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to addition bash.
I said player agency, not players running the game.
Oh yeah, okay. All right. Fair enough. And now he's on the hook instead of me. Thank you for saving me. Jim has saved me once again. Can I switch from Cuthbert to Wampler?
What the heck? Yeah,
Well-
we had a game last night where these guys were escaping from this stronghold, and they've been there for months. Game time. It's only been 3 days, in real Greyhawk time. But so last night they on their way out, the very last room, they had to just check this one room, and so the monk goes in, and this is a creature I created. So they had no idea what it was. Chris thought it was something, right? I think,
Yes.
Chris, you thought it was vampires or something. But anyways, so the monk goes flying in there, and I think to myself,
AD&D vampires. If you thought it was AD&D vampires, why did you open the damn door?
Oh, well, because I thought it was a vampire construct.
Okay.
So these were like homebrewed, necromancer brewed vampires, not the real thing per se.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm a salty old dog, and I don't want any part of AD&D vampires.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, I won't even say what they were, but easily just shut the door and leave. You don't need to go in there. But the monk, who's a 7th level monk, Oriental Adventures monk, by the way, who's got all these martial arts stuff, goes in and does a flying kick and hits one, notices it doesn't do damage to it, is now in the center of 5 of them. And so that was the surprise round. And the next thing that happens is initiative happens, and he's starting to fight, and they attack him. 4 out of 6 attacks hit him. My dice were hot on the DM side. And little did they know, each hit was the energy drain. Yeah.
So these monsters officially at this point are
fair's fair, and I've played in games with obviously with the energy drain thing, but that is a mechanic most players are not up for.
Yeah.
Well,
and yeah.
For example, this is one of the little areas where Tim and I would differ. Tim thought nothing about
draining. Yes.
Yeah.
He wanted nothing about it. Is that what you said?
No,
he didn't think
it was
any big
fine
deal.
with him.
Yeah.
Tim had a style of monsters. When Tim created a monster of his own, it was always something that could somehow jump in and out of melee. Like for example, it's a giant crocodile, but it somehow got the frog tongue. So you're not even where you can take a swing at it, and it can hit you from around the corner.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
That was a Tim style monster.
Or his Weaver Queen popping in and out, up and down, and oh yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have much trouble with that Weaver Queen because I just fireballed her.
Well, yeah, webs don't
and because she lived in that crystalline layer, ended up taking out half my party, but we got her.
You were a part of that too, the Weaver Queen.
I did the layout on it.
Yeah,
it was an Eldritch product, and when we play tested it was when we had talked Tim into running that OD&D campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote a bunch of stuff in there about how you have the option of rehabilitating her, and we just murder hoboed our way through it.
Yeah. So any of you guys know what character, and I know you two know, any of you guys know what character Tim played back in the old days with Gary?
I used to. Don't help me. I can do this.
I remember it, but I wonder if anybody in the
it wasn't Quailish. That was sorry. What chat to do? Well, there you go. Free
Moderator,
clue.
get him. Moderator, get him.
Well, no, it wasn't Quailish. It was something else. That was a different character, Tim's.
Drain Life was not a busted mechanic. No, Drain Life is a real mechanic. What you need to do is either turn him or run.
And what we did was we named that monster the OP monster just because we don't know what it's called yet. And
yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't say it was a busted mechanic. I just said no player on earth likes it.
No, somebody, Brass Monkey says Drain Life is a busted mechanic. I don't believe so. I think it's a mechanic, and you got to know when you can. I mean, the right thing to do was Chris should have turned him. He didn't realize that he wasn't going to be able to, and didn't realize what they were either. So,
well, I tried that as my third thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was your realization, like, oh crap, I need to turn these, and you did.
If I heard you tell the story correctly, it involved busting the door down and running in, which is not a good idea, no matter what.
There was no door.
Yeah. There wasn't a door. It was a kind of facetious way of saying it, but that's kind of the mentality of what happened there. Is there was a chamber they went in, they lit it up, they blinded these creatures because they were sensitive to light. They were in complete darkness, and instead of kind of, okay, let's get out of here, or the monk jumped in by himself
Yeah.
Without everybody else held their action. Like, oh, what the hell is that?
It was a cave complex, and we were just kind of looking for an exit. So any cave that you could maybe find an exit in was one that you ought to explore. That was our perspective on it from the non-GM chair.
Well, I didn't mean it mean, because we've all done it.
No, I'm speaking more directly to Angelo. I don't know why they went in there. Well, we were looking for an exit.
Yeah.
And that cave was on the edge of your map, so I thought, that might be an exit.
Yeah. It was a little deceiving.
It's okay. You're allowed to do that, but why would you go in there? Because we wanted to get out.
Speaking of the Weaver Queen,
ooh,
I thought this was a pretty amazing version. Box set when it came
Look
out.
At that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think I have an older version somewhere up here.
Yeah, this was I think the recent Kickstarter that he did. Well, you would know Jim probably, right?
Yeah. That came out through it's not Gaming Honors, it's Old Guard something.
Yeah, Old Guard Games.
Old Guard Games. And I've got the Eldritch version because I designed a cover for it.
Yes, he did, and it's quite nice.
And I think he ran it quite a bit in GaryCon.
Yeah. That's the same time I was talking about. He was playtesting it all over the place.
Yeah. And you got the big metal dice. I haven't even taken them out. Jesus. You probably recognize these. But yeah, and the tiles, and it was really well put together.
I remember that adventure so well because, spoiler alert, the dungeon is in the shape of a spider. And he hit the dungeon, and they happened to let me be the caller. And our old school rule was you just go in the dungeon and always turn left until you've got the whole floor done. And if you do that in Curse of the Weaver Queen, you end up in the bottom left leg, which happens to be the treasure room. It's only full of copper, but it's barrels and barrels of copper.
So that you can't possibly transport it all.
I don't know in the published adventure if it's barrels and barrels of copper, but when Tim got pissed at us for running straight to the treasure room, that's what was in it.
Yeah.
Now, I remember I liked the adventure quite a bit, and it had just a gorgeous cover. And I thought that you had done the cover for the one for Eldritch as well.
I only designed it. I did recruit the artist, who's since gone on to be a popular kids book artist in Europe.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm going to read this one. Let's see what this one is.
You've been on 2.5 hours. It's time to knock it off.
Oh, God. Okay, so this one is an accident injury.
Uh-oh.
Mile marker 196 and 195, vehicle versus deer. Oh, I hate those.
I'm going to predict that the vehicle won.
Yeah, probably.
Are you on call, Angelo?
No, we have a duty crew tonight, but we all get the pages. And if there's a fire, we're all supposed to respond.
Right.
Something like this, no, that's the duty crew will handle it. The duty crew is usually 4 people. There are 3 crew members and a duty officer. Yeah,
right on.
Kind of the standard for rural fire here. Rural, is that how you say it, Chris? Rural,
yes.
Rural.
And I think the guy earlier was Jimmy-san, because that would be kind of a quip on the way the Japanese tend to put san as meaning the diminutive of.
Well, what's the I in there then?
Jimmy.
Okay.
Because it looks funny if you put Gimmy san.
Got it.
Okay. Gimi doesn't look funny. You see?
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Is he still on? I don't know.
So back to Metamorphosis Alpha. I want to ask you guys: was there ever a conversion? Because I mean, Gamma World, we had in the back of the DMG, we had a conversion into D&D, right? Was there ever anything that was off or on script for conversion into those characters into AD&D or D&D, in itself?
I used to convert the monsters to first edition and let my group run first edition characters through it.
I mean,
but that's easier to do.
it depends on who you are. Like I ran an MC at GaryCon one year. I ran an MCC version of Tomb of Horrors, and I just ran it straight from AD&D Tomb of Horrors because I can flip ACs and hot dog the translation on the fly. But Metamorphosis Alpha is a different animal because that was so early.
Yeah.
Those rules, like what weapon class is a melee strike, an unarmed melee strike? That's not in the rules. You just have to have Jim Ward tell you, or I'll tell you now. It's weapon class 0. There's a lot of GM fiat required.
Yes, a lot of unspoken rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did all the game testing for the Warden using lands.
There was an Amazing Engine version of Metamorphosis Alpha, and I don't remember the Amazing Engine rules well enough to know what it.
But you mean by the trolls?
No, it was TSR.
Okay.
Remember when everything was going to be Amazing Engine?
I don't actually. So, but I'm getting older, Jim, and I'm starting to lose some of that. You know.
Well, you're not like me and Bob Brinkman, Bob Brinkman and I actively compete on who has the best Metamorphosis Alpha collection. And he thinks he has all the bracelets, and I think I have all the bracelets, and we don't have the same bracelets. So it's that kind of deal.
I have like one bracelet.
No, I can hook you up with some doubles if you want.
Don't worry about
But I'm not giving my captain's bracelet away.
You know, it's funny. I do get a little bit of nostalgia when I find old rough draft paperwork on my hard drive. I don't get nostalgia from the toys and whatnot that came out with the releases of, you know.
Yeah, look at that. See,
there you go.
He's got it. He's all
You need
set.
the black one though. The black one is security. Is not security. Soldaten, soldiers, Marines.
Jim was such a ruthless GM. I showed up with the security bracelet at one of his GaryCon games, and he allowed it. And then he allowed it so cheerfully, I was scared to use it.
Yeah, I got
knows just how insane that particular AI is. You know, yes.
That's the side bracelet. Yeah.
But here, Chris, this is how serious Bob Brinkman and I are about our Metamorphosis Alpha collections. There was an unreleased Metamorphosis Alpha coin game.
Okay.
And when Jim was still alive, that guy that was helping him sell stuff on eBay put the molds up for it. And it was going to be, to get in and win those was going to be $200 or $300 easy. I didn't have the money. So I called Bob Brinkman. Bob wins the auction, sends me the molds. I go down to Ironwind, cast us both up a couple of sets, and then send the molds back to him.
Okay.
So what were you guys doing this last weekend over in Cincinnati? You want to talk about that or no?
I was sorting through the legacy material that came out of my friend Paul Lidberg's storage unit that his wife did not have the heart to go through after he had passed. And we are going to try and auction some of it and get her some money.
Basically the same thing Jeff Emery and I are trying to do for Cheryl Kask.
Yeah. I don't think she even I think I heard it from maybe it was you, Chris. It's interesting because I don't even think that she realized how big he was and what he meant to so many people in the gaming community.
You mean Tim?
No, yeah, Tim, his wife.
I think she knew.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Not as much as you think. And I'm only just now discovering it because I was like, I didn't have to knock. I had, free access door privileges and could sit in on Sunday dinners with the family if I wanted to. So I was like, no indicator to Cheryl. And the reason I say that is just because there was maybe 15 gamers showed up for his celebration of life, and she couldn't believe it. Especially the ones, a couple of them had driven over, from out of town, but not far, like from Indiana or something.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe how many people showed up. She was very happy, but she just didn't know.
No, Tim had quite a following.
I don't know where I heard that from or yeah. I mean, it's just a testament to him just being him at home. You know what I mean?
Well, what Tim did in the game industry was far from his complete life. He was a public school teacher.
Yeah.
Fisherman.
A fisherman. Boy, I had 2 or 3 things in my head that he did, and
Well, you mentioned some earlier too. There's just the volunteering he did.
Yeah. He did a lot of protection of animal health. charities.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
He bowled. Of
And
all
he
things.
did. He bowled. Yeah.
What?
He
Are
was a
you
bowler.
serious?
Oh, it was in Cheryl's bowling league. So yeah,
I did not know that. Wow, that's funny.
They were married for over half a century. You don't get that far without understanding
Well,
how to, happy wife, happy life.
And he was an MP in Vietnam. Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology's all gone now, but he came out of the Navy as an electronics expert.
Yeah.
Because that was part of his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one thing. It's one thing to go, okay, he served on a carrier, but Joe Goodman, of all things, almost 10 years ago, had all his artists and writers, which included me, out for a 4-day weekend in California, in San Francisco Bay Area, and the point was to take us to all these places that were inspiring, and he ran us ragged between the sequoias. Thankfully it rained on a horse day, because me and one other guy were the only one that knew how to ride horses, and one of the Alcatraz, and one of them was we spent a whole day on the USS Hornet, which is docked there, and you can tour it. And that's not exactly the same kind of carrier Tim served on, but it was
Right.
extremely instructional to walk through that place and try to imagine what it was like, because it was a huge ship, but the hallways are this wide, and you did not want to screw up and be in that brig, because it was a concrete closet they slid bread and water through a slit to you in. The bridge, I'm used to Star Trek bridges. The bridge would fit in this room I'm sitting in, and the CNC just looked to me like Battlestar Galactica. It was fantastic. So yeah, Tim was a deckhand on those aircraft carriers, and I thought, okay, well, you're in the Navy, you didn't see that much action in Vietnam, and then he told me about all the shore parties they had to do to go rescue downed flyers.
Yeah.
So he was in it.
He was in it. Yep.
Yeah.
No, it was. I knew he was at least electronics savvy. He had his Honda Pilot broke down once at I want to say at Gary Con, and it was funny. I went out with a flashlight and it just wouldn't start. It turned over but wouldn't start, and I smelled his exhaust, and I don't want to go into too much detail. I can sometimes tell what's wrong with the car by how the exhaust smells. Anyway, and I was like, oh, it's running really lean. It's not getting any gas. So I looked under the hood and I found the fuel pump relay, and I switched it with another relay that just had the same number on it. And by the way, car companies do this a lot. You'll walk into a parts store to get a part that's the fuel pump relay, and the exact same relay, which is used for something else, is like 10% of the price when you ask for that part instead, even though it's the exact same part. Anyway, so I swapped them, and sure enough, it fired right up. And I said, well, let me find out what circuit this is, because he had the book open. Oh, that's my windshield wipers. I said, yeah, they're not going to work now. Oh, yeah, they will. And he turned to they don't work. I said, yeah, that's because we put the shot relay in there and swapped it for the, oh my God. Oh, what do we, I said, do you have a whiteout, a bottle of whiteout or a whiteout marker or something like that? Yeah. And I put a dot on the two, and I said, here. I said, but when you go in to buy a part to replace this, and you can do this, it's just pull one out and put one in. I said, ask for the wiper relay. Why? Because it'll be 10% the price. And sure enough, till the day that I guess his daughter, one of his daughters, wrecked that car on him. He borrowed it to her and it didn't come back, but whatever. Till the day he got rid of it, it ran on a wiper motor relay because it was the exact same part. But he understood that immediately. Boom. He's like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Which led me to believe he had some electronics background. Yes.
Oh, meantime, in chat, they're talking about the good stuff about which editions of Gamma World are really Gamma World, and
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and Omega World and Polyhedron, which would be like 3.5 edition. It doesn't really count as an edition, but it was a good article.
Yeah, leave it up to Drag. Drag will bring up these amazing facts. Drag also, Omega World.
Okay, well, trivia question for you then, Drag 347. What was the least selling, least popular edition of Gamma World?
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll let him. And I'll even hand out the clue. It's not the color bar version that used the phaser rip mechanics.
Do you know that, Chris?
I have no idea. I played in Meta Alpha. I was
Does
happy.
any of you guys in the chat know this? Ask the question again.
What was just the least popular, least selling edition of Gam World? And I bet Dreg's got it because he's been very knowledgeable in the chats.
Was there a 5th edition?
I'm losing track. It's so late at night. I'm losing track myself.
We're gonna let Jim sleep soon here.
Yeah. We do. I'm gonna.
What's the full old man package? I'm up at the crack of dawn, no matter what I do.
Are you really? I get up early too. It's so crazy.
I dated a girl named Dawn once. Oh no, that's not what you meant. I'm sorry.
What? catastrophic. Says, really love your stream. You want to connect me? I'm gonna put my Discord server on there. Why don't you join there, and I will. We can connect on Discord that way. Okay. I'm trying to pronounce the name. Tastric.
It is the 5th edition. Whoever in the chat said, "Is it 5th edition?" It is the 5th edition, but that's not what distinguishes it.
I believe he goes by Catastrophic.
Yeah, Catastrophic. Okay, there you
Alternity.
go.
Thank you. That was it. The Alternity version of Gam World.
I didn't realize that was a version.
It was actually published after TSR went out of business. Although it says
that was part of Gamma World.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
I didn't know that at all.
It was just a trade paperback. Well, I mean, they did the main Alternity books, and then there were like little setting books that were just trade paperback, and they did a Gam World one.
Huh. Because Alternity wasn't my favorite, but it was a decent game.
Interesting. Yeah.
Good job. I knew he knew the answer.
What was that?
I knew he would know the answer because he was popping off about a bunch of stuff in an extremely knowledgeable way.
Yeah. Dreg is full of knowledge. He's on the Discord server that I just mentioned. We go back and forth about facts, and he's a wealth of knowledge.
You said knowledge, right? You said he was full of knowledge. Okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, he can be full of crap sometimes, but
Where's Blair?
I know. Moderate him. Yeah. Hey, she's on a moderation kick. I gave her moderation powers here, yeah, I think she's blocked a bunch of people. I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, this has been great, Angelo, because I did nap up so I would be sharp for this. I didn't know it was going to go almost 3 hours, but I've enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, we should close down here. I do want to, if you guys can kind of hang on for a minute here, I do want to give out a couple of shout outs to some other Kickstarter projects that are out there right now. Let me see here. Advanced Fantasy Games is on here. He just wrapped up this Kickstarter for the Lost Tomb of Kazakmut, the Undying for Osric. Really good. I have it right here. I've read it. It's super awesome. I talk about this every live stream because I really believe in what he did. So scan that, guys. He's taking late orders right now. So I guess that's how Kickstarter works.
I like the cover art. I just can't tell who it is from the thumbnail. Is it like, because my brain is wanting to fill in the blanks and say it's a JV West, but it's probably not.
Oh, you mean the cover art? Yeah. So the cover art is done. And if you want to put the name of the cover, the artist in their Advanced Fantasy game, put it in there. But the cover art is a guy from Italy. And, he did all the art for this. It's all no AI. It's all real art. And it's super cool. I'll grab the module and show you.
Well, and what has 2 thumbs and is a backer?
Good for you.
Yeah. We all backed it. He's such a great dude. And he's got a great. Let me get rid of this QR code. This is the cover art of it. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, yeah, right. So now I can tell it's not JV West, but you can understand why it went there from the thumbnail.
Yeah.
But that's nice. That's very nice.
Okay,
yeah, very, very cool. And the line art inside is really, really good. I like this style of...
it's very almost old school, really. It's not quite old school, and that has its charm as well. But yeah, it's
and he does some really there's some really cool illustrations in here
that pile of skulls I really liked.
Yeah, he did a really good job, and but not only the art, but the feel of look at this. This is a really good piece too. The feel of the adventure is really awesome too. Look at that signature. Oh, a signed copy.
Lucky.
And he can tell a story about this kind of reminisce of an old school module where they're all leaving in triumph to leaving the dungeon.
It's just my personal taste, but I really like the I don't want to say simplified, but the less overwrought black and white illustration styles. It's hard to describe. I could describe it in terms of artists I like Del Tiegler and Keenan James right now are two of my favorite artists that are doing work in this sort of arena. And
Del does some really good stuff.
That person's art reminded me of that. Just Shields too.
Oh, Jay Shields?
Yeah, James Shields.
Yeah.
And look at that really
nice stuff.
That really is awesome too. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I like that. That's one of my favorite.
Oh, look at that. They laid it out with Futura. They really made it old school.
Yeah. I really like that. So that's why I bring it up all the time. Because there's so much that I really love about this, and DM Greg is a really good dude. So yeah, I want to bring that up, and also want to one more time give a shout out to all the members who have braved the rapids and become a member of the DM and Friends show to show support in that manner. So I want to bring up another shout out to all you guys who are heroes, superheroes, and lords. I really appreciate all you guys for showing that level of support. It really helps more than you can imagine, keeping the doors open and allowing me to get people like this guy on the show. I had to bribe him.
We're not cheap. Yeah. We're easy, but we're not cheap.
Yeah. So anyways,
I am easy, but
well,
I do cost money.
I did write that in the back. I mean, somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My days of writing for 3.5 cents a word are over. Let's put it that way.
4 cents. Here we come. All right.
That's right.
And also one more thing I want to bring up here. If I can get technically savvy with this, I do want to bring this up because I will bring this up every live stream because I believe in it. They're veterans here, veteran heroes wanted. Agile Monks, Veterans Helping Veterans, has partnered with EggCon to provide complimentary 4-day badges to EggCon 3 this year, which is in July. If any of you guys know any veterans that would like to be a part of this, please email agilemonk@icloud.com and for more information on how that can be handled. So just
my one veteran friend is now going to EggCon, but he bought himself a badge because he didn't want to take the money away from people who might need it.
Yeah. EggCon's going to be fun. That's going to be my first time this year, Jim, going there. So looking forward to that so much.
I can't wait to see the Temple of Grumsh.
Yeah, I'm going to be running a Greyhawk-esque. Well, it's in the world of Greyhawk adventure that's out of our campaign that I thought was the coolest thing, even cooler than sliced bread. So
sliced bread's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, but this adventure is even cooler. So
okay.
I prefer to say the greatest thing since Betty White, since she was technically older than sliced bread.
That's true. And good point.
Very good. But yeah, we're gonna be running that there, and Chris will be there too. This guy over here, I gotta get my hands correct. Chris will be there. A bunch of us that are on the chat are going to be at EggCon, so be a lot of fun. And
I hope Tim will forgive me, but I'm doing all my D&D stuff full diorama with miniatures. But Tim used to scowl at me every time he'd see me pull out these big dioramas with my miniatures and things. But
so
he was committed to theater of the mind.
Yes, he was.
Agile Monk says, Jim, write for my veteran-owned business. We pay much, sir. We pay much better, sir.
Well, I'm on Facebook. Hit me up.
Yeah, Agile, hit him up on Facebook. He's not. Matter of fact,
I'm
he's
not saying
tagged in.
I'm not saying I'm not committing to anything, but talking is free.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me put his. It's Agile Monk at iCloud.com. Brass, email him there. That's the best way to get a hold of him, probably. I think I spelled it right. Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, anyways, are you tired yet, Jim, or you want to go another 3 hours?
I'm ready to hang with whatever is appropriate. I just can't imagine anybody spending 3 hours of their life watching this nonsense.
Well,
pleasant nonsense, admittedly.
I think my longest longest live stream, it reached almost 4 hours, didn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you almost died, right?
I did. It's true.
Yeah. So, anyways,
tomorrow is a work from the home office day, so I'm at your disposal.
Are you really? Well, I suggest we probably wrap it up here. I do want to give you an opportunity to any parting words, anything you want to talk about as far as, Mud Puppy Games, anything you're working on, anything you want to plug. Please don't hold back. But this is definitely your opportunity to.
I'm not really a message guy. Just try being kind to people for a change. It's not that hard.
Yeah, try being kind.
It's rough out there right now.
Yeah. Energy spent hating something is energy wasted. It really is.
It is. We talk about that a lot here, man. We talk about just.
Well, we're all getting old enough that we try and hoard our energy. It's
it blows me away because there's still people out there in this industry that hold grudges against others, and I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I'm not going to name any names, but
I'm just an outlier. If I watch a Star Wars show and I don't like it, I just stop watching it. I don't have to, raise hell about every little thing.
You don't get on Reddit and scream about it or hate mail.
He doesn't mean that he's always honest. He's not an outlier.
He's an outlier.
Well,
what would be an outlier associated with as an adjective for a person? What would that mean? Because I know what an outlier is in YouTube.
Right. I don't think
somebody that kind of it's performing above.
I was just trying to avoid claiming that I'm some kind of normal because I'm not.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense to me.
If you're looking for a synonym, aberration would be a good synonym.
Aberration. Why don't we do this?
Although that has the negative connotation.
My point is, and I fall prey to. I'm very temperamental myself. I fall prey to it all the time. But I finally reached an age where when you cut me off in traffic, I don't have to race down the road to flip you off and cut you back off again. Because why would who cares? Why?
And what's more fun anyway? You just pop it up in neutral, rev that 440 2 or 3 times, and people just freak out. It's
Yeah.
I think that these times we live in now is a good time for just some straightforward kindness and understanding, because you don't know what's going through that person in Walmart.
Yeah, you don't know what their days
with the political T-shirt you don't enjoy the message of. You don't know what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Well, and today's message is just black. That's
And I am getting tired because now I'm just getting sentimental. So
Well, I still love you. Don't worry,
Jim. I would love to get you back on here if you choose to brave the rapids and get crazy with us again.
Anytime. I've enjoyed getting to know you better, and it's been fun.
I think that's awesome, man. Yeah. And if I'm never out in Ohio, but if I ever am, I'll definitely.
You will be.
Check it. Yeah. Well, I'll be in Wisconsin this, and then
I'll drag him out. I'll drag him out to Mike No's warehouse.
There's somebody in the comments that went to University of Louisville too. Yeah, I mean it was in the late '80s, early '90s, but I cartooned for him, then eventually ran the student newspaper. I got cussed out by Morley Safer while I was working at that student newspaper he was on campus for a Denny Crumb story, and me and my photographer dogged him all the way to the president's office, and he got pissed off, turned around and cussed us. And you're probably not even old enough to know who Morley Safer was.
Oh, I do. I remember.
Wow. I don't, because I'm only 26, right? So I'm pretty new to all this.
I meant the general you. I mean, Chris is like a year younger than me. Not to
I'm
blow your cover.
How many vampire years?
448 in dog years. So
yeah. All right, you guys. Well, we're gonna sign off and let me get that. Jim, thanks so much for coming on. It's really cool to chat and then Chris, thanks for coming on and I love hearing.
When I finally got here,
I know you guys are dear friends, and that's
I do like you
awesome. and talking about Tim too. I mean, that's
I especially appreciate the opportunity to do that, because right now I need it, and I imagine other people do. I just need to get through the process because it's every day now. I'm going to ask him a question.
That pen meant a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you, man. Seriously, like like I said earlier in the show, like when he passed, I knew that you were super close to him, and that's
Yeah.
We hadn't talked in forever, you and I. It was not like we're buds, but you were the first person I thought. I'm like, oh man, that's just just wanted to say that to you because I know how much you meant to you. So yeah, I don't know, man. Life's crazy, dude. Life's crazy. But anyways, thanks so much for everything. And see, you guys make me squirrel here. Here goes Agile with another super chat, and I have to bring it up. God bless you. I'll tell you what, Agile is one of the coolest dudes ever. And I really appreciate you, buddy. And thank you so much may God bless each and every one of you and keep you safe. Your game's fun and your friends a blessing. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Advance says, best of luck, Jim. Take care and stay strong. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And you guys out there, thank you so much for all the back and forth and the banter and the questions and just all the cool comments that I'm sure Jim, thank God for those, because now I don't have to pay Jim so much for coming on the show because he got so much entertainment. You got so much entertainment.
Except Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle.
But anyways, I was gonna say, all you guys that are on there, make sure I'm gonna do the YouTube plug. Hit the like button on the. You couldn't realize how much that helps the channel. Hit like, be a subscriber, and keep coming back, man. We're gonna be back this Saturday for a special show this Saturday. We're gonna try to do 5 hours this time, so we're gonna have fun. But so anyways, I'm just gonna say, you guys, the same thing I say every time when we leave. Take care of each other. Keep gaming. God bless. And game on.
I'm prepping for the 5-hour show.
I do have a final message. I do have a final message. If your magic missiles don't automatically hit, you're playing the wrong edition. I kid. I kid.
So now you made me squirrel, and I'm going to talk about it because I think is it an OD&D or BX you have to roll to hit?
OD&D.
OD&D. Okay. Yeah.
The Tim version. Okay.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Again, I'm going to try it again, and Jim's going to figure out something special to say. Take care. Keep gaming. God bless. Love you all.